All right, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Ed Barsano Show. Actually, welcome to our weekly webinar. Attila and I are the support mechanism. You're likely here because of Crypto Casey, and if not directly from you being a fan of Crypto Casey, which we love her, we get an opportunity to present this on a weekly basis to her audience. Then you may have spread the word to friends that not only you've introduced to Casey, but introduced to this opportunity. And Attila and I are the support mechanism, sort of the glue between Mr. Barsano and his team with the platform of GoBabyTrade and Casey's audience. I'll do some administrative things in a second here and set some expectations, but we'll provide you links and resources in the chat throughout the presentation, and you'll be able to take advantage of that. We always encourage you to do your homework, do your own research, and we'll provide you ways to do that as well. But that's I'm Edward Pereira, and my co-host and good friend Attila Hevesy. And then, as I said just before we hit record, you have the opportunity to deal with modern day and meet and speak to and ask questions of modern day Einstein that has created something in the form of Mr. Barsano this, and he's created something that simply doesn't exist, and its working mechanism has been in the marketplace since 2001 as it pertains to stocks, and then in 2021 released in the crypto market. So it's something that you're not going to believe it if you've not seen it before, but do ask in the interact in the chat with folks that are here. A lot of them are repeat offenders and great members of our community and family, and they are ones that were, if you're brand new, skeptical of what they saw, did their own research, interacted with us. We're really real live. We're here to educate you. We're not here to sell you anything. We are going to provide you an opportunity to take advantage of automating part, if not all of your financial life going forward. And as I always say, strap yourself to your seat, get duct tape, put your 6-point harness on, because you're gonna see some things that you literally are and going to be asking, and your subconscious, is me and all the other people in my head, ask this is hard to believe, that can't be true, and if it's true, then why isn't everybody doing it? So we'll educate you along the way.
I want to know
And
why everybody's not drinking bottled water and smart
smart
water.
water. See,
Yeah.
if we were all drinking smart water, we wouldn't need this presentation. We would just be doing our thing. So I am going to share my screen, share a couple of expectations.
Edward, did you ever
Yes,
turn the recording on?
I did. I
Okay,
did.
good. I
I
don't
did.
know. All right.
And that part's recorded too. So,
No, you were going to turn it on, and then Ed said one more thing before you turn it on. But yeah, I see it now. No
but then
problem.
I
Got
turned
it.
it.
Okay.
So, all right. So I'm going to share my screen, set a couple of expectations, and then stay with us. We are going to go through presentation and some examples. You're going to see some things live, and then we'll open up the chat. I'm sorry, the chat is open. We'll go to Q&A, and let me make a separation. So chat amongst yourselves. Within the chat, you're going to find that, particularly if you've got questions, hey, is this real? You're going to see a lot of people respond, not us. They're not prompted by us. They are happy members of the family that own the platform, that are prospering from it. And then if you have specific questions, please put them in the Q&A because we'll address them. We're also going to provide you links and support links and all kinds of other resources that you can put to work and allow yourself to understand. And you don't have to, and you'll get a copy of or a copy of the replay, so you don't have to catch it all at once. I would say pay attention versus taking notes because then you can watch it after and take more notes. So let me share my screen. Let me share some expectations. So I'm going to set some expectations, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions to ponder, and you can certainly respond in the chat. So if I were to apply one word to what you're going to see today is transformation. People don't buy things and do things because they want them. Most of the time, it's an emotional response. But let me back up and ask you a question. Why do you have a job? Why do you get up every day and do the things that you do? In most cases, you've been programmed to believe it is to simply pay your bills, to make enough to pay
And
your
some of
bills.
us are married.
And some of us are married, yes. And some of us are married. But that's that's in the current financial system, that's what you've been taught from the beginning. Go to school, get in a whole bunch of debt, get a job. Um, Generally, 78% of the time, it's not even a job in the discipline in which you got a degree in, but go to school, get a job, trade time for money. That's the trap of the system that everybody is in, period. And then people scratch their head. Why can't I get ahead? Why do I always have more month at the end of the money instead of more money at the end of the month? Well, the best way I can summarize what you're going to see today is the opportunity for a transformation to change that. And what do I mean by that? You're going to see a couple more questions coming. You're going to see the world's most powerful income producing asset. What does that mean? You're taught to maybe save some money and then put it in your 401k and woohoo, they match your 2 or 3% or whatever the case may be to save for someday. Well, someday may never come. How about if you had a tool that allowed you to produce income producing asset in your sleep that would put you in a position that gives you more freedom and gives you more money at the end of the month than the other way around. So it's a question to ponder and put it into the chat for sure. I'm not looking at the chat, but please do. Name other income producing. I'll ask Ed. Name other income producing assets that people have access to.
What, bonds, treasury bills,
Okay.
stuff that you'd be 100 years old before any of it cashes in, before you ever
Someday.
make any money.
You should have qualified that, Edward, and said name any asset producing or
Income
income
producing.
producing that keeps up with or beats inflation.
Oh, I was getting there.
That's
I was getting
Oh,
there, but thank you
none
for
other than GoBabyTrade. I don't know what else.
none. Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm leading to. So there's a couple. There's
Savings accounts aren't going to get you there.
no savings accounts are going to get you there, but if you owned a whole bunch of stock, which you'd have to you'd have to leverage a lot of money in order to make a consistent living on dividends, right? So dividends on stocks, those are income producing, but you need a lot of money. The other big one that a lot of people try and do, and they've been taught to use it to potentially beat inflation and all the other, is to have property, right? Rental property that comes with, and help me with the three T's. I got two of the three T's, right? What comes with rental property? Trash, toilets, and
tenants.
Trouble.
tenants. Trouble's another good one, right? And of course, to be able to have an income producing asset that is a piece of real estate or multiple pieces of real estate, it takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of time. Talk to Attila. He had multiple properties. I had 13 rental properties at one time. Too much of a headache, but those are income producing assets. So I ask that because I want to plant a seed. When you see what you're going to see the most powerful income producing asset that takes no time, except for to set it up, maybe 10 minutes. Ask Harry. We just went through it this morning. It didn't take very long, and it was a very pleasant experience.
I helped somebody just 2 days ago. I helped somebody. It took us about 15 minutes. The longest time that we took was him logging into his Coinbase account.
Yep.
Because once we got in there, man, we were connected like that. And we created the account, funded it, and he went live right away.
Yep. Takes no time, no risk, buys back something more important than money. Type this in. Here's a question, interactive, and I'll get through a couple of slides, and then we'll get to the meat. Type in the chat, what is more important than money?
Yep. Well done, Bob.
Bingo.
Well done, Tim.
Everybody wins. What's more important? Time. I mean, money's good. Money's really good. It gives you the ability to to buy back your time, which is really another consideration. How many more years do you want to work? I don't know about you, but I've already put in 40 plus years. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm now fortunate. I wish, and Mr. Barsano always says he loves it when this message resonates with young people because it gives them the opportunity before they get programmed into the trap, as I mentioned, the current financial system. They learn a new way of prospering without trading all of their time and spending the rest of their lives working to pay off their student debt. So, world's most powerful income producing asset. You're going to see about a 45-minute overview of the core features and understand what it is and why it is. And what it is a autonomous crypto trader and money management platform. As exciting as it may sound, the autonomous trader is not the wow. What the wow is, and where everybody gets trading wrong when they do it manually, is poor money management. Well, you don't have to worry about it. It's bolted together. It works. It just works. You're going to see a system that automates trading, no stress, no screen time, no angst, no anxiety. You just sit and watch it 24/7, 365. It does not take a day off. For about a third of the cost of a cup of Starbucks coffee. So if you just cut out Starbucks, you'll be rich.
Per day.
Per day. You're going to see what I've called the $1 billion report, which identifies optimal trading opportunities. There's two big questions people ask is once they get over the stun of this is real, is how much do I have to start with, and what coins do I pick and trade? Well, Mr. Barsano and his team provide that for you. Part of what you get as a feature in the system is there's this $1 billion report that comes out monthly that highlights those coins and tokens that trade in the highest volume. The biggest asset that this system has is volatility. It doesn't matter what the price is. As long as the price is fluctuating or wiggling up and down, it will take free profits, free money for the rest of your life. And it doesn't end when you die because you can pass it along to your heirs and it will still make money. You're going to see a couple of live demonstrations.
That's when you're throwing it all away.
That's right. That's when, yes, you're going to see live presentation of a system, both my system. You'll see a simulated and a real live one that I just started 4 months ago, and then you'll see one that has fully matured over the last 4 years. As a matter of fact, on the 19th of December was the official money machine startup of GoBabyTrade, not when it was released to the public, but when Mr. Barsano first started his trading accounts. And then you're going to see why at the end you're going to go, okay, now I do understand that it could be real, and you can investigate, or you can just believe it's real through all the people that are going to show you, yeah, this is real. Ask in the chat, is this real? That it's a set it and forget it environment that literally takes all the pain and suffering away and becomes an income producing asset for you without the pain. And all you have to do, Mr. Barsano calls it the world's best savings account, but it's a savings account that pays you slightly more than 0.01% that your bank pays you. So I'm going to ask you then to shield your retina because the next is all red letters and it's just a quick disclaimer. I'm not going to read it, but you're here for informational and educational purposes only. What we're showing you is factually based. There's no fluff. We're going to do some math. I'm going to show a calculator and we get to dream a little bit because then you'll see the power of compounding. Einstein called the power of compounding the eighth wonder of the world. Those that understand it prosper. Those that don't and compound interest either pay it or make it. We're putting you in a position where you can make it. Anything that we say here is not a financial promise or a guarantee, but again, we're going to present things in a matter of what has happened with this trader. Oh, by the way, keep in mind that since this trader was released, the market is down 90%. However, wait till you see what Mr. Barsano has done. He's created something that does not exist anywhere else on the planet. You can do your own research. We want you to go find something. As a matter of fact, I always make the guarantee. If you can find anything that's like this, that has this track record, which is, by the way, 25 years of never selling at a loss and simply cranking out profits, I will personally give you $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. No one's ever taken me up or even responded to that challenge because it simply doesn't exist. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Attila, and he's going to give you a little bit of background and kind of set the framework, and then we'll get into showing you exactly what we're talking about. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Edward. And I just want to remind everybody, if you're new here and you're wondering who are these two guys, well, we are the educational arm and the support arm for or on behalf of Crypto Casey's audience. So as it pertains to the GoBabyTrade trader, okay, number two, since I'm the one that asked everybody to type in where you're calling in from, I thought it would only make sense if I read out real quickly a few of the places people are zooming in from. So McLean, Virginia, Georgia, Tampa, Calgary, Alberta, north of the border, Lexington, Netherlands, Georgia, North Carolina, another one from Tampa. So welcome, everybody. And thanks for being here. You're going to be real glad you did. So my job is to basically give you a little bit about my background and then explain how it is that I met Mr. Barsano. And as a result, you are all here today, which is pretty cool. So my background is strictly financial. I've been in the world of finance one way or another for most of my life. Started out in the insurance business. I was a financial planner with a massive 120-year-old company. Found out after 5 years I wasn't really digging that, so I moved on. But I don't want to bore you with the details. September 2020, I was in the right place at the right time and realized I totally missed the internet revolution. And I said, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. This is going to be the biggest disruptive technology to come along ever, because what is it disrupting? It's disrupting global finance. The digital money revolution is literally doing that. So I don't want to miss this one like I missed the other one. So I paid attention and I read, watched a lot of YouTubers, podcasters, and kind of self-taught myself on what's going on and became an investor. And then I re-engaged with Mr. Barsano. But how that all came about is pretty interesting. Mr. Barsano graduated from the Navy and then found himself one of the first 300 hires by Bill Gates at Microsoft. This was the mid-80s, 1980s, when Microsoft was going like this. And he did really, really, really well there for 9 years, then retired a young man. I mean, he was like less than 40 years of age when he retired, got into investing in the tech stocks, because again, that's when the internet revolution was blowing up. Everybody was buying tech stocks. But fortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately for us and for him and for everybody that touches the trader, he lost about 60% of his wealth in the stock market crash of 2000. Now, why do I say fortunately? Because he recognized that this is a rigged game for the average person, and he felt like he was robbed, and he said, I'm going to level the playing field. So he took his programming knowledge and he built the world's first fully robotic autonomous stock market trader. He launched it in 2001. He started building it in 2000, launched it in 2001, I believe, and started selling the heck out of it, originally one by one. And then in 2012, when I met him, he teamed up with a marketing company, and I actually helped market it at that time. But what happened was a mutual friend said, hey, Attila, how would you like to make money in the stock market and not have to do anything? And I said, how is that possible? I've always wanted to make money in the stock market, but there was no way I was going to learn how to be a day trader or trade stocks. I'm a big picture guy. I'm not a technical person, and I don't have the patience for it. So I said, tell me more. He introduced me to Ed, and after 20 minutes, I said, time out. I cry uncle. I'm buying this thing. I see the writing on the wall. It's amazing. And it was amazing. So the way it worked really was, back then it was cumbersome as far as it was 60 to 90-minute download of software. However, once that software was downloaded, this thing turned itself on every morning at 9:30 when the stock market opened. It traded for you all day long, taking profits, excuse me, when the stock went high enough based on your original settings, which you could have modified if you wanted to. When the stocks went down in price, it bought more at a lower price, waiting for it to go back up. So it was amazing because it did this 100% unattended. What does that mean? That means zero screen time. You didn't have to interact with the software. So I thought that was the most brilliant thing I had ever seen. I mean, think about it. It's amazing today. Imagine how amazing it was in 2012, or better yet, in 2001 when he launched it. So one thing led to another, and he did sell using the that marketing company $16 million worth of traders and licenses in 2 years, from 2012 to 14. But everybody knows how tough partnerships are. He had some issues there, and he went back to being solo. And in 2018-ish, roughly, give or take a year, he actually sold out. Mr. Barsano did, to a hedge fund that had previously purchased many traders from him previously. And then what started to transpire is several of the people that bought the stock trader in the past, started harping on him a little bit and trying to convince him to build a trader for the crypto market. Now, this is where the story takes a little bit of an interesting turn and twist, because in March of 24, I was at my desk, and I've built a very nice crypto portfolio for myself, but I'm a cash flow guy. My parents always said cash is king. I believe, and Edward believes, and Ed Barsano believes, cash is king is pretty much out the window. It really is cash flow is king, because if there's enough cash flow at the end of the month, it's a good month. Not enough cash flow, it's a rough month. So I'm sitting at my desk and I'm thinking, how can I continue to follow the idea that Warren Buffett came up with many, many years ago? He said, look, if you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. And I do believe that's true. So I'm like, how do I put my crypto to work so it earns more crypto on itself? And I had tried 5 different blockchain crypto related cash flow opportunities and lost money in all 5. And it was quite a bit of money. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, I made more money in the whole digital money revolution that I was in than I lost, but still, nobody wants to lose the kind of money I lost. But why did I lose that money? Here's why. I did not control it. I sent it to a third-party wallet or exchange so that when things went south, I couldn't get to that money. And I'm telling you this for good reason. You'll see in a minute or so. So I'm thinking, how can I make money on my money? How can I make more crypto on my crypto? It took me a full day, but I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about my good friend Ed Barsano. I'm sure somewhere along the line he has developed. It's just too logical for him not to have developed a trader for the crypto market. So I still had his phone number in my phone. I tracked him down. We spoke for 3 hours and he confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, I did. I launched it in April of 21. And he said, as soon as I launched that thing, he said, I am done with stocks. And he said, it's light years ahead of the stock trader. And I was real curious. I said, how come? So we shared 4 really compelling reasons why. Now, please pay attention here, because this is really instrumental into everybody's decision-making process, I believe. Number 1, he said, Attila, you know as well as I do, you must have a lot of volatility to make money in any kind of trading. And there is no asset class on planet Earth with more volatility than crypto. And I agreed. That's just a fact. And then he said, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto's 24/7. That's a big, big advantage. And I agreed again. But number 3 and number 4 is what really got me. And you'll understand why in a minute. Number 3, he said, I made it web-based. It's not downloadable software anymore. I said, what does that really mean, Ed? And he said, well, when you buy this license again from me, I could have you trading live in less than 10 minutes. And I was like, are you kidding me? Let's do it. Giddy up. I bought the trader on the spot, and in about 8.5 minutes, I was connected live to my broker, my exchange. Now that blew me away, because I remember what it was like in 2012, and it was nothing like that, right, Ed?
Oh, yeah.
So Number four was the one that was the most important one out of the four to me, and it should be to all of you. Here's why. He said, I created an API connection whereby this trader connects to your Coinbase or your Kraken account. Either one of those two exchanges will work. And that screamed to me safety and security of my funds and your funds. Because the trader just is a tool. It sends the buy and sell signals to the exchange through the API connection, but it cannot touch your money. Mr. Barsano cannot access your funds. That's under your control 100% of the time. And to me, that's the most important part of everything as it pertains. I mean, besides the results it'll yield you, obviously. So before I introduce Mr. Barsano and actually bring Edward back for just 1 or 2 minutes before I do that, I want to ask everybody to keep two things at the forefront of your mind. Number one is when we say throughout this afternoon, when we say set it and forget it, we really literally mean set it and forget it. What does that look like? That means once you buy the license and you're set up, the only reason you're going to click on GoBabyTrade and look at the trader is to see what it's doing. It's not for you to actually instruct it to do anything. There's no screen time required. This is not copy trading. Literally, you could go live your life, and if you want to, not even look at it or pay attention to it for a week, and it's doing its thing. It's 3 million lines of code at work. It's almost like having a room full of traders if you live up north, in the basement of your home. We don't have basements in Florida. So that's number one. It truly is hands off, 100% unattended, set it and forget it.
But you could change things if you want.
Yes, you could go on there voluntarily if you wanted to make an adjustment, which we don't recommend, because again, after 25 years, Mr. Barsano has optimized those settings for your own good. He knows what the
But a
best
lot of
things are.
people, I get emails and people say, "Will you look at my trader?" And I give suggestions like, "Oh, I
So
would
look,
change that, or I would change that."
right.
Right.
That's true.
In the light of continuing to optimize what it does for you, right?
Yep.
They're not, oh, this strategy didn't work, so we're going to switch strategy. It's not that. It's the
Usually, it's they've
enhancements.
already changed so many things on their own that I
Right,
really
right,
try to bring them
The
back.
damage control.
Come
right.
back, come back. One guy said, what are the best settings?" I said, "Well, the best settings are right there on the screen.
Right.
They're
The
I
ones
don't,
that it came with.
the ones that it came with,
Right.
go back
Exactly.
and they show and I'll show that during my demonstration where
Yeah,
the default settings are there. So
Right.
when you change things, you can always go back to what they should have been.
right. Yeah, let me chime in on what Attila was saying. Having a whole room of traders, and actually, Ted beat me to the punch in the chat. If you figure out if you actually calculate the cost down, I said $3.19 a day. If you divide that by 24 hours, since it's working 24 hours for you, it's having a whole basement full of traders for just over 13.2 cents an hour. But
Unbelievable.
you don't have to pay them but 13 cents an hour. You don't
And
have
by
to
the
feed
way,
them. You don't have to pay insurance. Nothing.
since I've started, and I have one last thing to say before I turn it back over to you, Edward. Since I've looked at the chat, we have two more newcomers, one from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome, Mr. Martin. You've been with us before. I remember you, Martin. And then another gentleman from South Africa. How great is that? Lukazimla. I hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, the last thing I'm going to say or ask everybody to remember or consider at the forefront of your mind as we go through this, truly, what Mr. Barsano has given us and given the world is understand the value of what he's created. Without anybody being an accredited investor, without anybody knowing anything about trading, without anyone knowing anything about blockchain or crypto. You frankly, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You can now make money in your sleep safely and securely with a platform, a software, over 3 million lines of code, and a 25-year track record. And every Wednesday, come and pick the brain of the creator like we're doing now. You cannot find that worldwide anywhere else. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So I'm going to end it there. Edward, you've got an amazing screenshot to share on a personal experience with your paper trader, which the results are obviously the same as if you were trading in real time. But can you share that? Because that's a mind blower.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna one up that, and I'm gonna show you a
Okay.
trader that I started a couple of months ago for
Oh,
a
yeah,
nonprofit that I have,
that's right.
based on my prior career. And it is, when you see what it's done the last couple of days, your head's gonna come off. So two things. I want to publicly say hello to a great friend of ours, both Attila and mine, that has been going through my head when we saying pay attention. He's got a much longer story, but we had lunch with him yesterday, and Attila and he were reminiscing over an experience that they had where Mr. Matt DeMeo, who's on with us, which by the way is the world's foremost expert in memory,
Hmm.
learning memory, brilliant
Yes.
gentleman. I got a chance to spend some time with it, but his famous saying is, and Attila can give a background, is when we say pay attention, Matt would say pay attention.
And that comes from his Italian grandmother who used to say, "A Matteo, a pay attention."
So,
So
so yes,
anyway,
Matt, thank you for joining us today. So, all right, let me share my screen again. Let me
and
get to the
everybody
right
should really
spot.
pay attention today.
Yes, but that's why I prefaced
Yeah.
it. So,
That's not a bad name for our webinars going forward. The pay attention webinar.
yeah. Matt says hello to Attila. You kept it clean, Mr. Mr. Tomeo. Happy that you're here as well. Thank you.
Okay, screenshot
All
coming
right.
up, folks.
Screenshot. There we go. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, got it.
All right. So let me lay some context to this. So this is a live trader account. You can see because it says live trading. I used to work inside the matrix, which is part of the superpowers that I have. I can tell you what you were trained to do, right? You were trained to um, go to school, get a job, and trade time for money. I said that in the beginning. So I've got some pretty good insight of what's coming in the next months and years, and that's what excites me about the ability to automate part and actually continually growing part of my financial life, both personally and professionally. So when I came out of 32 years of service, I created a nonprofit called the Gratitude Professor Foundation. I thought, what better way as we are continually serving others through our work to put, excuse me, we're required to put reserves away. So what better place to put it? So I created an account. I was one of the first responders on an Intel level 9/11. I started this um, uh, in homage. I started this account on September 11th, 2025.
Hmm.
Uh, so I started with $15,000. It has been trading for 9/11. So another 3 days will be 4 months, right? Okay. It has taken in my sleep, $2,184.47. But that's not the magical part. Let me switch screens because I'm going to show you it hasn't even had an opportunity to deploy all of the money. So out of that, it's only deployed 8,594. Whoops, sorry, wrong screen. $594.07. Right. This is how much of the $15,000 actually in the profit that it still has to use in
Hmm.
4 months. Pay attention. In 4 months, that's a 25%, 25 and change percent return. And if annualize that, if it just did what it did, now hopefully it continues to deploy more money, but that's running at an annualized pace of 76.25%. I think I made as the CEO, I think I made a bright decision. Instead of leaving the money in the bank at less than 4% interest, why not continue to prosper at a rate of 76% or better? That is real live cash flow. That's not in a 401k for someday. That is what it does for my organization. I also have a personal account. And then quickly, I'm going to switch. I'm
No,
going
don't go
to,
yet.
oops, should
Can
have
I
said it
ask
faster.
you,
All right, go ahead.
is it gone?
Nope, it's
No.
back up.
Can I, how come you don't click spread funds equally? I mean, it's okay to go 25% per coin when you first started. You divvied up the money equally in the beginning. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, you only have $134 available in SPA, and these other coins are out of whack too on the funds remaining. You're not going to save settings anyway, so just click spread funds equally just to see just so I can show you. There. Now you just divided your money up, your remaining funds about equally, so
Right.
that they're trading, more equitable.
Yeah, why not? Why not save it if that's an optimal setting? Now that's not
Yeah.
that is not the strategy of how the machine works or the platform works. That
Mhm.
is deploying money that is remaining. This money here, which is remaining, which also includes the profits, which I just a couple of days ago released back into the market because it's moving um, north, right? And obviously you see that it also changed the percentages. But thank you for that. Thank you for
Sure.
the heads up. So let's go back to the trader and let me show you about making money in your sleep. So okay, these are all positions today because the market was up about three, 2.5, 3 days in a row. Now the market's pulling back. It's already taken the profits, so it's buying more positions. But let's go down a little bit. Look at this. So earlier today, it took a profit. The day before, it took profits. Now watch. The day before, well, not even the day before, yesterday. This was all yesterday. These are all automated profits. Look at the time date stamps. I'm going to go down to this was the day before, but let's go to the first time that it actually took a profit. Yesterday morning, 253 in the morning,
AM. Yeah, nice.
AM 312, 345. So by the time
That's the
I
best
got
example.
up,
That's the best example of make money in your sleep I've ever seen.
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that. I love it when I wake up in the morning and I lift up the lid on my laptop to see how much I made while I was sleeping.
Yeah, I
I
got
think
to the
I
point
think
where
it's so cool.
so comically, or Mr. Barsano built in, if you own the trader and have the volume up on your computer, every time it takes a profit, it there's a cash register sound. So be careful because it might interrupt your sleep, but it's a good interruption, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's I mean, this isn't made up. This is a
When you
real
hear it going ka-ching all night long. Yeah.
this is a real live account. So that's if you're like, oh well, that's an anomaly. Okay, well let's look at the fifth. All those
Same
profits.
thing.
Now it took them in the afternoon. And these three might have been when I was taking a nap, but I still don't have to do anything. Right? Look, I'm scrolling down to still the fifth. The profits. What do you call it? Free money for life?
That's what I call it.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
amazing.
Great
It,
stuff.
Can we
it,
explain one thing before, there may be a misconception here because some of you may be looking at saying, wait a minute, he started with 15,000, but his account value in the upper left is under 15,000. You say, well, then how come he's not really winning? Yes, he is. Because look at the open positions over to the right. To the
oh,
right, the amount.
yep.
The open positions. That is because the coin prices have been going down, but he's been offsetting it by taking the profits, by constantly taking profits. So you're at war with the market is trying to go lower. Now, if you're a buy and holder and you're all in up here and the price is down here, you're just dead. You're dead already. You're going to be waiting for a long time for it to go back to where you went in. But with us, we're always going in, even at low prices. So down here, you're still buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. You really don't even care where the prices go anymore. And you don't
Mhm.
look at the account value because that's just misleading because you're getting mixed up with the open positions that you still own. Don't worry about those. The fact is, if you keep taking $2,000 like this, in every 3 months, like Edward said, you're what is the pace you're on? 70%. I
76.25%.
mean, that's real, and the profits just keep adding up forever. That's the thing. They can't stop the profits. The coins can't go down forever. See, that's the beauty.
Right.
Unless they go out of business. And then we can talk about what happens to the whole crypto market if some of these key companies go out of business. There won't be a crypto market. There wouldn't be one.
Right.
That's not happening.
Right.
That's like saying Microsoft's going to go out of business or
Right.
Intel's going to go out of business.
Right.
Well,
Right.
think of where we are in space and time in the opportunity of decentralized finance. We're in the dark ages. And what Attila,
We're in the
you gave a
beginning.
correlation. We're at dial-up modem time of the mid '90s in the
Yeah.
internet
It's
Don't
revolution.
remind me. God,
Yeah, well,
I hated that.
you used to program it.
I was a programmer. It was driving me nuts. These
yeah.
dial-up
Right.
modems.
One more thing I want to articulate is these profits don't go into a someday account that you have access to. This is liquid money. This just to reiterate, Attila suggested that the fact is that this software platform connects directly to your Coinbase or Kraken exchange account, but it has no authority other than to send buy and sell signals, and it does it rapidly. You saw that whole morning of yesterday while I was asleep from midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning. It was just selling. So every time it sells, in my case, the example is that I keep my cash in USDC, which is a crypto. It's not really cash, which allows me to put my money into my Coinbase exchange, keep it in put it in crypto, keep it in crypto. So as it trades and takes the profits, it takes the profit and puts it back into my USDC and redeploys the cost of the tokens that it took the profit back into the system. So it's continually grinding away. It's not as you're making profits, you have a descending balance. It goes in, you can say the system is set to save 100% of the profits. Now you can see this is all time profits, right? I
The
literally
goal,
would.
the goal is to make the same amount of profit per trade up here as you would even if the coin price dropped all the way down. And you're still trading, you're still making the same amount per trade, you don't even care where the price goes.
Right. But interestingly enough, what we experienced if I scroll down again, look, $5, $6, as I was saying to Carrie earlier today, it's like walking out the front of your house and picking up a $6.49 bill. How many days would you like to do that? Every day, right? But if you go down to your point, look at what happened when the market had a little run yesterday. You went from $2 in profit to 40, 20, 10, all at the same time because this system does not sleep. It will. We'll talk, and Ed, if you would remind me of this, and when you're talking about how the AI functions in the system, it has AI, so it outthinks everything else, right? And even though the profit goals are set pretty conservatively, the AI, if the system sees that something's running, it will take way more profit percentage than what the initial goals are, which is why you see profits from $6 and then it goes to 35, 21, 44, right? So very, very conservative on the downside, very aggressive on the upside.
You know, I was very impressed with the two of you, Attila
What?
and Edward. You guys amazed me. You did. I am. How long are we into this presentation? 49 minutes, folks. He just mentioned AI. I love that. I love that because other people would be bragging about, oh, I have an AI trader. You know, AI is nice. It's a nice bell and a whistle, is what I always say. You know, it's pattern recognition. I've been programming AI since '89. It's always been in my traders for 25 years. I never bragged about it. It's a nice bell and a whistle. The auto trader would work fine without the AI. The AI is a nice enhancement to the actual trader, to the trader that's doing all the money management and chasing money. The AI is just something out there that says, "Hold on, don't buy that yet. It's going to go lower," or "Don't sell that yet. It's going to go higher." You know, it's a nice add-on. And it's not the star of the dish, you know what I mean? The AI is a
Yep.
nice add-on. And you guys did a real good job by actually not even mentioning that for
Well,
49 minutes into the presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't even think I put AI on my website. I don't even brag about it. For
No,
25 years, I never bragged about it.
no,
Some of
but it
these
is.
websites out there, they're out there bragging, "Oh, look at me, I have an AI trader." I'm like, "Really? What is that? What do you think AI is?" Maybe you're watching, these videos of robots running around, I mean, I could see the AI usage there, but it's not going to do much. It can't tell you what a coin's going to do tomorrow. Nobody in the world could tell you what a coin's going to do the next day. If I had that indicator, I'd be the richest guy on the planet.
No.
All right, I'm sorry if I
Edward,
distracted you. I always do.
Yeah, no worries.
You
But
can't
but we,
expect me to go a whole hour and not talk.
no, that's true. But we're gonna turn the mic over to you shortly. We would like the longer version to share with everybody, particularly our new friends and visitors about the fact that your AI. I would suggest that is in the financial market, your AI is the oldest example. It's got 25 years of nothing but success. By the way, it's very important to mention that this platform is purposely programmed to never sell at a loss. Automatically, you can force it to sell at a loss, but who wants to do that? So with that, let me turn it back over. But this is a real live account. So I was going to show you my simulation account, but it too is running at a pace. Actually, it's running at a pace at over 100% annualized. But think about, put this in perspective. The market, even in the last 4 months, the market has been down. What would you say, Ed? 50%?
In the last few months, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say
So
50%.
so
Yeah,
in the last four
down
months since I
90% in the last 4 years.
right. So how is it possible? This is one of those head scratchers. How is it possible that in a 50% plus down market, I'm running at a profit, cash flow, income producing asset pace of 76% annualized? I I still, when I say it out loud, I go, wow, that's pretty amazing. So with that, I know Attila's chomping at the bit. Let me stop sharing and I'll turn it back over to Attila to be able to introduce Mr. Barsano.
yeah, thank you, Edward. Great stuff. That's a heck of a visual. And remember, folks, when you are paper trading, the trader doesn't know the difference. It's yielding you the same results as if you were connected through the API live to your Coinbase or Kraken, which is awesome.
Yep.
So Ed Barsano, we thank you so much. Every Wednesday, you're on here with us on behalf of Crypto Casey's audience, and we thank you for your valuable time. So the floor is yours. Please explain
Thank
what
you.
you normally explain to the
Well,
group.
thank you so much. This is a therapy session for me. Thank you. And, this is every Wednesday I meet with my therapist. Because I got to get this stuff off my chest too. Because, when you've been doing this 25 years and it's a money machine and the public doesn't see it, and that's hard on you. It's hard to be the abstainer. And some of you may know what that feels like. To be the one person in the room to say, no, you're all wrong. And you got to have managerial courage to be that way, to call everybody out and say, no, you're just wrong. So first I want to say thank you to Crypto Casey for inviting me to talk to her audience. Um, Thank you, Casey. Um, so the first thing, I always take notes on my Apple 101 device here. Edward calls it that. When you guys are talking, I take notes on what you said, the things I'd like to add a little to.
All the things that Attila gets wrong.
No, yeah. Well, sometimes I say that to people, we're going to relook at your trader to make sure I told you everything right. And really, it's to make sure you didn't screw up on everything I just told you. But anyways, you put that very first screen up, Edward. It said expectation, transformation. And the whole time I was looking at that, I was thinking expectation, deprogramming.
Yeah, true.
Because it's literally that's what it takes. Because some of the things that some of you may have heard here are just against your better judgment or the better, especially who was it that just signed up that got done with a training class?
Carrie. Yes, she just
Oh,
signed up today.
Gary.
She spent quite a bit of time and money with the stock trading course.
Right. And what was the first thing I said? All right, it's gonna take a little longer to deprogram you.
No, she got it
Because we
right
gotta
away.
unlearn a lot of what you just learned.
Yeah,
And
true.
and that's the thing, and that's what makes the auto trader work, is it doesn't follow a lot of the conventions. And then they're teaching you way, I can't even imagine how much do you really need to know? It's numbers going up and down, folks. Come on. I mean, we put a man on the moon in 1969 with no computer, and we can't manage simple numbers going up and down. I mean, you run 7-Elevens out there. They put product on the shelf and then they sell it at a higher price. It's commerce. It's basic commerce. That's all we're doing is basic, proper commerce, proper money management. We do it in our households. Everyone does it. It's called budgeting. There's nothing wrong with budgeting in your trader, and take away the gambling aspect of it. I've taken away the gambling part of it. The forecasting and trying to do all that. It's like, and that's what gets everyone wrong is they're doing forecasting, they're guessing. When I hear a lot of those words, all I hear is you're guessing. That you're guessing. Jim Cramer on TV, if you ever listen to him, he's like, well, if this happens, and it's like, all right, yeah, if. If is the biggest word in the dictionary. I didn't make that up, by the way. I've been hearing that since I was a little kid. Um, anyways, the next thing I wrote down here is, we put down work a lot. Edward, you put down work a lot. It's kind
Work.
of rubbing me the wrong way a little bit.
Well, that's it.
You
It's now.
said you're designed to work and until you die and all. I will work until I die.
No,
So when I
no.
hear you say that, I think to myself, what's wrong with work if you're having fun?
I dispute that. What you do is not working. You are serving people at the highest
Oh,
level, right?
what I
And if
do is
you know,
not working.
work is here. Let me put it this way: work is doing something you would prefer not to do because you have to do it to pay the bills. That's not what you do.
No,
So,
I know. I'm just teasing you.
yeah.
But I had, some people, I didn't have it. I had a different sign above my desk at Microsoft, but some people have, I saw signs that said, if you enjoy if you enjoy doing your job, are you really working? Believe me, we were working like dogs, man. Are you kidding? Anyways, and you also said another thing that kind of gets me a little bit. Cut out Starbucks. I love Starbucks.
It was
I love mochas,
it
and
was a
I'm willing to
money.
pay for those mochas. You know what? If it means my kid doesn't go to a private college, I'm drinking my mochas.
All right. So
I
let
don't
me
want to
let
sacrifice anything, but I
so
get you.
drink your mochas, but turn off your subscription to Netflix.
Tomorrow burrows. That
Tomorrow.
one
There
out.
you go. There you go.
You're killing me. I love this stuff. I like the notes I took here. But no, a lot of your relationships come from work. When you quit work, you lose a lot of the people you worked with. I miss a lot of the friends I had in the Navy, for 8 years.
Not me. You've put me on a path to
I
travel
don't
more.
miss some of them.
All right. I make my friends now travel in the world, which is much better than
Yeah.
cubicle.
And I wonder how, some of them don't even find me on the internet and I'm all over. I have one friend, what's his name? Keith Whitney. Or Whitley. And there's like a famous singer with that name. So I can't type that in and search for the guy because all that comes up is the famous singer. But if you type Ed Barsano, I'm the only one that comes up. Anyways,
Sorry to get you off track.
no. I'm trying to go through these checklists of things I made comments on. At Work Till You Die. I got that one. Attila said we talked for 3 hours. Right. Anybody that knows me knows that he's not lying. We do talk a lot. AI. And you mentioned no mention of AI. Okay, good. I just want to knock out some of the stuff that you guys talked about, and then I can go into my stuff. Okay, so I want to go. Um, some of the when I said deprogramming, I wrote here add more to declining positions. I've heard people given. I gave live presentations every week, every Saturday, for a few years. I flew to a different city and I presented to an audience. Every Saturday I was in a different city all over this country. And I heard and I could see when I'm talking where some people would be going, "No way." Stuff like that. And I heard one guy say when I said and Attila said it, we never sell at a loss, which means we add to a loser if it's going lower. Somebody said, that's like catching a falling knife. You know, it's hard to help people who are that severely brainwashed. I almost said brain damaged, but I mean
That
brainwashed,
too.
I mean, I don't mean to be insulting, but they're so brainwashed that they can't see the overall picture. That's why I wanted to say the comment about your trader, because I was looking while you were talking and I saw how I'm like, wow, that trader looks fantastic. But then a lot of people won't even see that stuff, and all they'll see up there is I really got Attila transfixed. All they'll see is their account value is down a little from where you started. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not looking at that profits you took. Because the only reason that account value is lower is because they pushed the market lower, a lot lower, to compensate for that 2,000 bucks you took out of the market. And the thing is, you're taking it constantly on the wiggles. They have to keep, in order for them to, hey, this isn't them beating us, this is us beating them because they can push the market down, but in order for them to keep that account value going lower, is they have to keep pushing the coin prices lower and lower and lower. But while they're doing that, we're going buy sell buy sell buy sell buy sell buy sell at the bottom. So that we're holding the account value up, and they're trying desperately to push it down. And you know why they're pushing it down like that hard? Because that's the brainwashing. That's where the most of the public, when they see they're losing their account value going down, they think they're losing, and then they start selling their positions at a loss. And I've seen people selling at a loss in December, and I was saying I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't panic because when the coins are being at their lowest is when the people panic. And really, I look at it the opposite way. When the coins are at their lowest, this is our opportunity to load up at ridiculously low prices. This is where the rich get rich. This is where that guy working in Jack in the Box gets rich. This is where anybody can get rich. And that's the thing that I've noticed is a lot of people have their jobs and the rich know they can get richer. But somebody that's not rich doesn't know that he can get rich. And that is an interesting thing. I just realized it. It just dawned on me. Once you have already been rich, it's easy to stay rich or get rich again. If I lost everything today, I'd just make it back tomorrow. I don't even you never forget once you had millions, you know how to make millions. It's that simple. But if you haven't made millions, then you don't know it. Then it's like beyond your realm. You're thinking like, oh, that's impossible. And really, it's not impossible at all. And I've laid the foundation here for everyone. This auto trader this is like free money. I consider the whole crypto market an insult to humanity. Um, may I share my screen?
Of course.
I got the power to share. Thank you.
Yeah. Anthony says it's just free money, the with the bar sinister method.
No, it really is, and I like to show this before I go into the auto trader. I desperately want to show you the auto trader and all the features, but concept is I really don't like it where you think you're just buying a black box and you don't feel like some people feel like, well, I'm not smart enough to understand any of it. I just want to turn it on and watch it make money, and I'm like, no. I want you to at least understand what it's doing. It's not hard. If you've ever ran a grocery store, then you know it's not hard. You put product on the shelf and you sell it at a higher price. That's been going on for thousands of years. I mean, that's just commerce. I didn't invent commerce. I'm not that smart, you know. I'm
Or that
serious.
old.
Or that old. Thank you. That's a good one. I met a guy yesterday. He's 90 years old. I went to the eye doctor, right? And because I got a new lens in my right eye. I got a new lens in my left eye a year ago. You never get them both done at the same time, right? Because you don't want to walk out of there blind, in case something goes wrong. So I got the left eye done. It was a cataract, right? I got the left eye done a year ago, and then a month ago I got the right eye done. So, anyways, I was going to the eye doctor, and there was only one seat available to sit down. And who do I sit next to? A 90-year-old. He's got a hat on that says USN, and he's 90 years old, man. I'm like, right on, man. What a go Navy, right?
You asked
You
him
know,
how his
it's
crypto
great.
was doing?
First thing, no, I didn't even talk about crypto. No, I wanted to know what his diet was. I said, he's 90 years old. He didn't look that old. So yeah, he said, I eat a lot of fish. And I said, what about tofu? He said, I hate tofu.
Ugh.
Yeah, throw some peanut sauce on it and feel like you're eating something in a Chinese restaurant. All right. What was I going to do? So here, understanding this concept. If you understand this, then you'll understand the auto trader. It's as simple as this. Really, I make it so simple. And most people want to think that it's complicated, but it really isn't. If it's water and the bucket has to go all the way to the bottom and get the water and go all the way back up and dump it out, how much water can it pump in a lifetime? If the bucket goes all the way down, gets the water, goes all the way up and pumps it out and dumps it out. It can't go halfway down and then go back up. There won't be any water when it gets there. It's got to go to the bottom, it's got to go to the top. Okay? So I asked that to a whole room full of developers once, 80 developers, and they all had no problem throwing out numbers. 1 million gallons, 1 billion gallons, it's going to pump forever, no problem. So I said, well, what if it's the crypto market and it doesn't have to go all the way down? It just buys a little and it goes up a little and it sells. And it just keeps doing that forever. And if it goes lower, hold on to that loser for now. It's okay. The action's down here now. Wherever the coin goes, we go. So it doesn't, wherever the price goes. So if it goes lower, that's okay. I'll pump it down here 20, 30 times, whatever, however many times. Don't worry about these. Don't worry about these losers here. Don't even worry about that stuff because you're going to just keep pumping forever. The software did all the money management, so you're never going to run out of money. And then if you have a big day like XCN went up 50% a couple days ago, boom, it went up like that. You sold all that inventory off that you had up there. So don't even worry about it. You're just at ease with the planet. I said, well, how much money can that pump if it just keeps pumping money like this? It doesn't have to go to the bottom. It doesn't have to go to the top. Just keep pumping money. 3% moves or 5% even. Whatever you want. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Just keep pumping money every day every day of your life. Don't even worry about it. And with proper money management, you're never going to run out of money. Don't worry about that. So that was funny in that one room when I first drew that on a whiteboard. I heard one of those developers go, there's no way that could be real. What a beautiful answer, because I would have never thought to say that. There's no way that could be real. That's beautiful because it is real, and it's just beyond people's comprehension. People think, and I'm not putting Kerry down, but like the guy that taught your trading class, your stock trading, is he even trading really? Is he even in the market? I mean, I went to some of those classes and I could sit there and the guy teaching the class isn't even in the market. So he's just teaching a class that he really doesn't even know what he's teaching. He really doesn't, he doesn't have any real world experience. So anyways, that's how the auto trader works. That's the basic premise right there. And the auto trader has lots of other things built into it for them how to do the money management, when to take the profits, when to hold off on buying, when to hold off on selling. It compensates for a lot of the corruption in the market. If I go over to my auto trader, there's this level 2 screen. Some of you know what that is, and you can just click on it. I mean, you can't. It's too much data for me to transmit out to everybody, but you can see here. You can see, I'm trying to get that to go higher. I don't know how to get it to go higher. Oh well, I wrote it, but I don't know how to do it. You can see how slow the market's going right now. Look, it's hardly even moving. Let's switch to another coin. Let's look at Dogecoin. And, all right, this one's moving. Well, yeah. Look at that 7.6 shares right there. That's a fake order, all right? These are the kind of things that happen. Or down below, you can see that's the best ask price. And below the best bid price is that 7.7 shares. You see how it toggles down here at the bottom? These are the best prices. The best prices are close. The lowest ask price. This is the number you see on your screen for the best ask price, and the best bid price is down below here. And like someone asked me, how come my auto trader cancels orders? Some of you may have auto traders, and you may be asking, how come down here in your trader you see order canceled? Well, it's because there's so many. If you're trying to buy, say you're trying to buy 100,000 shares of this coin, well, that 8 shares or this 8.4 shares isn't going to get you that price. It's going to have to uptick to the next price. But then if that's still not enough to cover your order, then we got to go up to the next price because we got to buy these shares here, right? To accumulate all the way up until there's 100,000 shares available. Now that would put me, maybe if I just eyeball this quickly, it looks like it'll put me right about here. Okay, right about on this number. But you got to understand something else. There's also a million other traders out there trading, buying these shares before you can get them. So now, a lot of times you're going to end up paying this price up here. So, and then sometimes it'll just be ridiculous and the software will say, you know what, cancel that order. It's just not going to happen because, I'm not going to pay that much, for the position. Or if I'm selling, it's the same scenario happens at the bottom here on the bid price because you buy on the ask and you sell on the bid. And it's the same thing down here, you're trying to sell it and you're selling 100,000 shares. And, how far down does it have to go before I can accumulate enough buyers to cover my 100,000 shares? Okay. The software adds all these up and it says, well, this is what I'm going to get for the coin. Well, if it has to go down that far, I'm not even going to sell it profitably. So cancel the order. Again, the software, this automatically does all this. And so a lot of times someone will say, how come, it said, I was going to be profitable, but then the order got canceled. But then when I eventually filled, I got a lower price. Well, you got a lower price than maybe that one, but maybe you got it at the price down here. Better than getting the price way down, which is much lower than that. So it's still profitable, but we're not gonna let them make fools of us. If you're not interrogating the level 2 screen and you're trading, then they're just ripping you off royally, constantly. Look at all these fake orders here, 2,500 shares, 2,500. See all this baloney here? This is all baloney. This is a real order here, 25,000 shares. This 2,000 shares is baloney, for this coin. Because when you trade, what are you going to trade in your Dogecoin? Your quantity is 61,000 shares. So 2,000 shares isn't going to get you there. And that's a perfect example of what'll happen if all now look at all these are real orders. See all this? But did you see when the whole screen was full of 2,000 share orders all the way up? All fake. Your price is real. You think you're going to get the best ask. No, you're not. It's way up here. It's going to be way up there if the whole screen's full of fake orders. And there's a lot of fakery going on out there. The pros are ripping people off royally all day long. And it's just criminal what they're doing. And that's why I automated the market. When they robbed me in that 2000 crash, I said, well, you hurt, I'm going to hurt you now for that. And they never, and I had the wherewithal, the ability to do it because I was already retired for 5 years after I left Microsoft when I was 39. And I said, you picked on the wrong guy. I'm bored and I'm going to automate this market. And then I'm going to spend forever doing it. And it's going to keep getting better and better and better until I've got the market trapped. And now I've got them trapped. I love it. I love it where I got them trapped. This market has been on a downtrend for 4 years, and we've been capitalizing on that whole downtrend. I look at the rich, even BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard and Trump and Tom Brady. I always mention those guys. I don't
Brady.
know. Yeah, I mean, hey, he's sitting on $60 million worth of crypto. I saw it on TV when that FTX went under in the Bahamas, during the congressional hearings. They give congressional hearings if big people lose money, but if you lose money, nobody cares. I mean, think about that.
We care.
I care, but I learned a lot watching those, watching what's going on, and I could see how the game is played. The rich get richer, and they try to keep the little guy on that assembly line working, but the little guy doesn't need to be there, he can get rich too. He just doesn't have confidence, and it is a confidence thing, it's if you don't have confidence, I don't have that problem. I've always been kind of cocky. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so I cry if I don't get my way. And that's not a lie. When I was little, I cried a lot, and even as an adult, I cry a lot. When I was at Microsoft, I cried a lot, and I threw things, and I screamed and yelled, and I sincerely felt we were going to crash and burn if we didn't do it my way. Because I'd watched some of the harebrained schemes some of those developers had, and I'm like, oh my God, if we do that, we're going to crash and burn, man. You're crazy, man. Erase the whole board. A normal person wouldn't, a normal person, if somebody walked up to a whiteboard and developed and wrote their whole strategy for how they thought this project should go, a normal, I'm going to call a normal person, not me, but a normal person might go up there and say, this all looks good, but I changed this here, this one thing here, or maybe these couple things. I walk up there and go, oh my God, erase all this, you know? So
Anthony said, "Don't be a baby."
I am a baby. I am a baby. I cry. I got the perfect wife puts up with me for 44 years. All right. So let's talk about auto traders here now so we can get into the nitty gritty. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'm down 82,000 on my open inventory. I call it inventory. When the coins go lower, you're buying more on the way down. And I'm down 82,000. But I've already taken 151,000 in profits off the table from the wiggles. And so this number can only go up and down. And there's all these, by the way, this was all blue over here. I'm kind of colorblind. Red and green, they kind of roll together too close. So I made profitable blue. That's why it's blue. But all these were all net profitable just a few months ago. And then the market took a 50% hit. All these coins just slammed down. And that right away told me the whales are trying to push everybody out. And I was just reading about it yesterday, plus I already knew it before. 95% of the crypto is all held by the rich, by the institutions and by the wealthy. There are only about 5% of shares available out there for the public. And the public is busy dumping shares because what do they see? They see that when the market's going down, what do they see? They see their account value going down. even though, I mean, I've taken 359,000 in profits. That's real money. Those are real profits, real money in my pocket. I was using my Coinbase card a couple of days ago. It was cool. I was in the store and I said, the card that keeps on giving. And I went to use it and somebody saw that it said Coinbase. He said, what's that? And I explained to him, it comes right out of your Coinbase account. And I didn't even go into the auto trading or anything like that. But it's just free money. You know, you're just pumping out all this free money, and it's real money. It's not like it's something sitting in some bank account somewhere where you put your money in a bank. I went to the bank the other day, and the teller was actually. I asked him if he knew about the fact that Merrill Lynch. That I said, you guys are now allowing people to buy crypto ETFs. And he said, no, I never heard of that. And I'm like, really? And I turned and looked behind me. I said, look at your office right there. It says Merrill Lynch. Why don't you walk over there and ask them if they're letting people buy crypto ETFs? The teller didn't even know, and I'm like, hey, the banks are starting to give in. They're going to give in. And once everybody starts coming into the crypto world, all these little coins that you're buying for fractions of a penny. Look at these coin here. It's under a penny. I mean, and that's an insult to humanity. Come on, some of you guys know for the last 4 years, what have you heard me say about ACH? That's Alchemy Pay. I said, that's Apple Pay worldwide, man, if I ever saw it, this company. And then finally, what they do a couple months ago, they partnered with Apple Pay. I knew it, and then what happened the whole time when it's all good news, good news, good news? What's their price doing? Going lower and lower and lower. Why? Why? It's because the whales are pushing these coins down as far as they can because they're sucking up crazy shares every time you sell coins. When people are down, when they're down too much, they panic and they'll sell all their coins at a loss. That'd be like me selling $66,000 worth of sheep at a loss. Why would I do that? But some people would do that. And I feel bad for the people that did that in December were selling off because then the market started rocketing in January.
Hey, Ed, let me interrupt you for a second and let's get this straight for the benefit of all of our new people and the people that have been here before. You started this trading account in February 7th, 2023, less than 2 years ago, with about
200.
$200,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and this thing is generated you've almost doubled your money. It's made $359,000 for you in less than 2 years.
No, he's more than doubled his money, and it's going. And this February 7th will be 3 years.
No. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's 2026. That's right. Yep.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
right.
Happy New Year.
However, remember this, I was net positive on everything.
Hmm.
These negatives were not that negative.
Right.
And
Well,
that
but
all happened in the last couple months. That's what pushed the account value down. It was up to, I think this one hit 1 million. So it dropped quite a bit,
But the
in the
bottom line
last
is
three
total
months.
profits taken. That's the bottom line for everybody's trader.
Yeah, that's why I say stop, learn this. The first lesson in in the market is
Yep.
stop looking at your account value
Hmm.
because it's misleading. Because that's just inventory going down on the bucket and the well. That just means the bucket's down here. It's still doing what it's supposed to do, but you're holding that inventory. Don't worry about it. Because sometimes, I mean, I watch ACH jump from here halfway back up just last January. In a couple of days it went from almost just about 2 cents to almost 6 cents, 2.2 to 5.6 cents. So that's almost a 200% return. All in a 5 day period. Just like we saw XCN. If I jump over here and take a look, a couple of days ago, XCN just popped. A 50% return. It's like thanks for the free money. Now when the coin's down like this, people panic and they panic when it's all down here. Let's just move it over here. I just brought this chart up. They panic when the coin's low like this, and I'm like, some people would call me and say, Ed, do you think I should stop my auto trader from buying more because the coin's so low? I'm like, no, I wouldn't. The biggest money you're going to make is the stuff you're buying down here. Because when that coin pops like that, anything you own below that price, go across. Anything you own in here sells off. So you just sold it all off at a beautiful profit. And then the market goes back to what it does. It goes back to its wild, crazy up and down movements. This is all free money. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. When I turned on the crypto trader for the first time after 21 years, back in April of 21, I turned it on. My first robotic trader for crypto. It turns out the programming is the same for cryptos as it was for stocks. And so I've been programming this thing for 21 years before that. And as soon as I turned on the crypto trader, connected it to Coinbase, I said, oh my God, I'm done with stocks. I never saw coins move, anything move like this in the stock market. Do you realize the market crash that we've experienced? And I don't know if people realize this stuff. The crypto crash that we just experienced, say in the last 6 months, was bigger than the 1929 stock market crash. It's bigger than any crash the stock market has ever experienced. They slammed this market down at an unprecedented rate. They just slammed this thing down so hard to try to drive everybody out of cryptos. The whales are they're doing what the Hunt brothers tried to do. I think it was in 2010 when they tried to corner the silver market. But they're accomplishing it because they got everybody running scared of crypto out there. Any of
Yeah,
you
think
can
of it
take
this way, Ed. When I'm going to give you with this screen, I'm going to give everybody something to think about. When you look at this screen, if you are a trader not using GoBabyTrade, this is cardiac arrest. If you are using the trader, it's just
It looks
another
like you
day,
got AFib.
right? It's just another day of free money.
Yeah, for us, yeah, I just love it. When the coins go down like this, I feast. Especially I love it when I'm watching my auto trader buy more at the bottom. It's like,
Right.
oh man, I got the market trapped at the bottom because they can't move it. If they try, what are you gonna do? Go lower? Go ahead. You're gonna run these companies out of business to steal a few $1,000 from me? I dare you. I dare you. And I've said that for years. When I used to stand in front of audiences, I'd say, "Do you think Bank of America is going to go out of business?" They were at that time they were $10 a share. Everybody goes, "No." I'm like, "Then trade the heck out of it, man. It's just free money." I mean, if you don't have to worry about it going out of business, all you're doing is buy, sell, buy, sell. That's all the market is, by the way, is buy, sell, buy, sell. Other than that, I don't know what it is. That's why I don't understand what you learn in a class because I've watched those classes. They're trying to teach you to forecast and all. I mean, I've seen people sit behind 6 monitors and what they're looking for, they don't own any shares and they're sitting behind 6 monitors. They're looking at 6 indicators and my AI is looking at 27 indicators and I don't even have to babysit it. But
Yeah, talk about the
they're looking
AI
at
for a bit.
six. All right, but they're looking at 6 monitors and they're trying to figure out the pattern or something. And they say, all right, it looks like it's going to go up. So then they buy. Oh, shucks, it turned around and went the other way. Sell it at a loss. You're dead. If all you're doing is selling your coins at a loss every other day, you're never going to get ahead. You're really not going to get ahead because especially you selling stuff down here at a loss and then the coin rockets in the next couple days, it just shoots up. It's like forget it. You're never going to, it'd be like it's like you don't have any product in your 7-Eleven and you wait. Oh wait, I see a school bus coming. Okay, hurry up. Order some potato chips to put on the shelf. You don't know when the school bus is going to come. You just have 20 bags on the shelf and don't worry about it. And when the bus comes, you sell them all off. The 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 toll booth industry, and those in Florida, you know about the toll booth industry. You're like the toll booth capital of the world.
Or Jersey.
You can't drive on their highways for 5 minutes without paying a toll. At one point, I ran out of change and there was no teller, and it only had one of those machines where you throw change in. And I'm like, well, I don't have any more change, so I'm just going through, you know? What are you going to do? What do you want me to do? Stop and make a phone call and order up change? You know, it's like, I'm done, man. This is crazy. I mean, but the toll booth industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And all they do is they park the toll booth out there, and the toll booth agents aren't worried about where are the cars? Today's a slow day. This is awful. It's like, quit worrying, man. Do you think the toll booth agent there cares? They're up there collecting the change, giving you change. That's it. They're not worried about how many cars are coming through. You know, is today a busy day? Is it not a busy day? I mean, quit worrying about all that stuff. Whatever the market wants to give me, the market will give me. The difference between a toll booth, a stationary toll booth on the highway, is when a car comes to it and pays, the car moves on. But if GoBabyTrade was the toll booth, that when the car goes to and pays the toll booth actually runs and jumps in front of it again. And makes them pay again. And then if they try to go again, it jumps in front of them again. And if they try to go backwards, we stack toll booths in front of it. Now you're gonna pay me, and there's no way you can't. That's the beauty of it. I've got the market trapped. Now, Edward, you wanted me to talk about the AI.
Yeah, I mean,
AI,
we talked about the AI, and you always say it's not the star of the dish, but it is, in my opinion, it's the smartest AI engine that's on the market because it's been refined over 25 years. And
the,
it went from, I think you explained several times that it went from when you put AI in, it went from 35% accuracy of what it could do in the next 20 minutes to now it's 98% accurate to be able to look at a trend and see what it's going to do in the next 20 minutes. That's extraordinarily valuable, particularly talk about XCN. You saw the example that I gave when I showed my trader and what XCN made me in my sleep over the last 48 hours, both on the
right.
6th and the 5th, that it literally jumped in and took, might have caught when it was ticking up, and it made $6. But when it skyrockets and it gets the AI involved, that's when it went. That's what I was trying to point out, poorly explained, that it went from $6 profits to $45 profit, right? So explain in that context what the AI does both in the upside and the downside.
What happens is, all right, the AI, if it sees if a coin price is going higher, the software says, I want to sell it and take profit. So the software without the AI would take profit when it goes higher. Now it'll call AI, which is running on 4 separate servers, like two-factor authentication. It would call it and say, give me a number. Tell me what are the odds that it's going to go higher? What's the percentage that it's going to go higher? Now the AI is looking at 25 years of history, and it takes a snapshot of the environment of all 27 indicators, and it can actually assign values. This is the power of AI. I mean, you just simply can't do this on paper. You go nuts. The AI can assign different percentage values to each indicator. Okay? So, and it takes a snapshot of the current environment as it is at this instant in time. And it says, well, based on that pattern, I've seen that same pattern 1,000 times. And I'm 96% sure that the price is going to go higher in the next few minutes. Okay, that's what it has the power to do. Now it could say, I'm only 58% confident that it's going to go higher. And if that's the case, the software will say, well, I'm going to go ahead and take the profit then. I'm not going to wait for the AI doesn't know, it can't predict that it's going to go higher, so I'm going to just take the profit. But if the AI thinks it comes up with a 95% confidence that it's going to go higher, then the software will wait and let it go higher. it's only good. The AI can only it's taking these snapshots and evaluating them in a millionth of a second, right? Each time. But it's really only good for about 30 minutes out. That's just a lot of years of experience. I've been doing AI since '89. Usually, you don't need it to be 30 minutes out, that kind of stuff. When I started programming in AI at Microsoft in '89, it was to deal with the million phone calls we were getting a day. When those calls came in, it had to listen to the person talk and quickly make a decision. Who should this call go to? What department? Is it Excel? Is it Windows? Is it the Microsoft mouse? Is it hardware? And it had to quickly make that decision and send that call off. Before I did that, we were filling up buildings full of phone call handlers to just receive the call, find out who to send it to, and then send it to that support department. So, and we had to stop that, cut out the phone handlers, and let the AI just deal with the call. So they shot me off to AI school for a couple of weeks and put me under the gun. You better come back with a solution. So that's what it does. It's pattern recognition, and usually as soon as they talk, you can know right away where to send it. But that's not the same way with the crypto market because the permutations are all over the place. Let's take a look at one indicator if we're going to talk about AI for a second. If one indicator was, is it raining outside? Yes or no? Okay? That wouldn't have any value to the stock market or to the crypto market. Who cares if it's raining outside? I don't think that's going to affect the trade. Okay? But if it was a horse races and is it raining outside, that would be have a profound effect on the race because some horses can't run in the rain or the mud. You know what I mean? And some of you, if you're in Kentucky, I'm sure you've been to the horse races, then some horses can't run in the mud. But boy, if it's muddy out and it's raining out and you're looking at that racing form, you're like, there's that horse I want, that mudder there that never loses in the mud. So, so the AI would assign 0% value to that indicator, is what I'm saying. So out of the 27 indicators, if one of them was, is it raining outside, the AI would basically discount that one or give it a 2% value. I'm not going to allow that one to go to 100% in its calculation. I'm going to say I'm going to only assign 0%. But if you ever watch the internals of the AI while it's running, it would blow your mind. I mean, it's like, whoa, you're not going to do that on paper, So the AI, the way the auto traders have been building that AI for 25 years is each auto trader each minute takes its own snapshot of those 27 indicators and writes it to files. Each minute it's writing it to files. Every trader is writing it to files. And then the AI trains on that data. The AI doesn't train daily, every few months I'll run the program that tells the AI, go to those files which have terabits of data and train. And they'll run for a month and build their knowledge, the AI. And then when the auto trader's running, the AI is already smart enough the auto trader sends that pattern to the AI and says, what do you think? Well, it doesn't have to send it anymore. The AI's already got the patterns and it can just shoot numbers at us and tell us how accurate, whether the coin's going to go higher or lower. And it's only good for, like I said, only about 30 minutes. The AI can't, the whole pattern thing breaks down after, because the numbers are changing constantly and it just breaks down. It can't predict like a day in advance, that kind of thing. There's no such thing. If someone says they have an AI trader that can tell you what a coin's going to do tomorrow, they're full of baloney. There's no way. They'd be richer than Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Elon Musk all combined. And Bezos, I'd be the
Hey,
richest
Ed,
person on the planet.
Ed, can
It
you?
doesn't exist. So it's like, so one thing, the last thing about AI is my AI has been training and learning for 25 years. These AIs that are popping up right now, they didn't exist more than a couple of years ago. They don't know what they don't know. If they don't know what those patterns were all those years, then they really have only looked at patterns for the last couple of years. And what's the market been doing for the last couple of years? It's been going straight down. So they don't know how to predict an up market. They don't know what it'd be like a 25-year-old competing with a 2-year-old in a foot race. They don't even have a prayer simply because they don't know what they don't know. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying they got a lot of years ahead of them if they're going to try to compete with GoBabyTrade. And I've never had a competitor all through the years. I always looked over my shoulder. For years, I was looking over my shoulder and looking out there, and I'm saying, where are the competitors? And I automated the market starting in 2001. And I'm like, all through the years, I'm like, where are the competitors? TD Ameritrade called me in 2006 and said, will you connect your auto trader to us? I was surprised when I got the call because I wasn't advertising or anything. I'm just word of mouth. And it's just people sharing with other people. And I said, how do you even know me? And his answer was, you're real. Isn't that cool? I've told that. I've said that before. And some people have heard this before, but I just think it's the coolest thing. I don't want anything on my headstone when I die. I wanted to say, Ed Barsano, here's the years he was alive, and he was real. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. There's a lot of good things you could say about me, but you can't really fit it all on a headstone. Just say he was real. That's good enough for me.
That's pretty cool. That's a hell of a compliment. Hey Ed, I'm just trying to track the time for us here. Can you get to the $1 billion report and then also show people that if you don't have $200,000 to start a trader, you have people starting it for 200, 500, 1,000,
Yeah, you don't
1,500.
need that. You don't
Yeah,
need, even if you ran in paper trade mode, if you signed up with paper trade mode alone and just watch the trader run, Attila, you said it earlier, the trader doesn't know it's paper trading
right.
until it sends the order. So it's making real world decisions, and then right at execute time it says, hold on, I'm only paper trading, don't send that order to the exchange because there is no exchange connected in paper trade mode. Just go ahead and fill the order at the current price. And that's the only difference. But when you're live connected, it'll send it to Coinbase or Kraken, the order. So the results are just about the same. Oh, look, I made $27. Whatever. I'll take whatever the market wants to give me. Um, it doesn't matter to me. I don't even look at my auto trader hardly at all. I'm so laid back. It
Can you do
just,
it, Ed? Can you do it in reverse order that Attila requested? Can you show the top traders, right? Because that's always a
all right.
common question of how much do you have to start with to
Oh, the
pay
top traders.
to
Sure.
pay right to pay for the
Mhm.
software, right?
Well, yeah, you don't even care really. I mean, but here's people. I mean, these are real users. This guy only started with, this is a year ago. It's a 1 year report with $163. Okay, it's not much money, but he made $465 of profit on that 163. If he would have put that $163 in a bank at the end of the year, he would have had 163.50, or $164. He would have made $1. But putting it in an auto trader, he made $465, which is a 284% return. I guarantee you, Warren Buffett would be all over this software if he knew I existed. I mean, any wealthy person would be all over this. I'm not a marketer though. I'm a genius programmer, not a genius marketer. I don't know how to do it. You know, I could throw money at marketing, it won't get me anywhere. And I don't really care. Um, This guy started with 5,000. He took $8,251 in profits. These are live traders. If they do a manual trade, they get knocked off the screen. They won't even show up on here. I won't allow manual trades. I also took away all the big accounts, the $1 million accounts, because they fill up the screen. And we originally, if you remember, we used to have those on here, and people would say, well, I don't have $1 million, I can't use the software. So I took all that stuff off, and I said, let's go down to real people. Here's a $13,000 account. He took 20,000 in profits in 1 year. That's 150% return. Blows away anything you're going to get in a bank. I mean, here's a $31,000 account. He took 35,000 in profits. And you know what's cool is, I mean, here's a guy with $100,000, started a year ago, and he made 93,000 more in profits. That's 82% return. Plus, you can click on like view details, and it'll show you what he's trading right now. He's only trading one symbol. See, you don't need 50 symbols. That's the thing. People think they have to have a lot of symbols, and and you really don't. Let's look at this guy with $12,000. He's got a lot of symbols, but there's a level of gambling going on here, and let me explain why. He's changed the default from profit goal of 3% to 2%. So he shrank the profit goal. And instead of adding on 3% drops, he's adding on 1% drops. That means he's adding a lot faster. And he's only doing it for 30 lots deep. So 1% drop. That means if you started here, anytime your first purchase, I call that the top. So you got one, and if he's saying add every time it drops 1%. Now when it goes up 2%, he's going to sell. But if he's adding on 1% drops 30 times in a declining market, then that's a 30% drop he's covered for. That means if the coin drops 50%, he's out of the game. He might be out of the game right now. I don't know, but because the coin may have dropped 30%. But more than likely, he could have thrown more money in, or he could have released these profits. I don't know what he's doing with his profit, his $10,000 of profit. We don't show that, but you can look at everybody here. This guy here has the default settings, and he's looking. These are all top coins. These are all top moving coins, and he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 coins. We recommend 3 to 5 coins. But okay, he's got 7 coins. His profit goal is 3%. He's adding on 3% drops. Again, just like a ladder. Picture a ladder where you're adding steps. 3% drops, 25 steps down would give him a 75% coverage. That means as long as the coin doesn't drop more than 75%, he doesn't care where it goes. This is his bucket in a well. It's just going up and down, giving him free money. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Goes lower, goes higher. We don't even care, and he's taking $736, which is an 81% return. Look at percents. That's the important thing. A rich person with $1 million is getting the same percent return as a guy with $900. The difference is he's not getting more trades. He's just putting more money into each trade because he has more money. And that's it. So it's a numbers game. That's why I call it the ultimate savings account, because this is the place people just throw their money into their USD or USDC and let the trader trade. And what's nice about the trader, because of its money management, it's not putting you all in. And that's the biggest criticism is some people would just start in one day and they'll say, how come my auto trader only put its toe in the water up here and I got all this money? I want all my money being used. It's being used in the calculations to make sure you're covered all the way down. But it's not going to just go out and buy all coins with that. If it did, and then the coin dropped 50%, you'd have to wait for it to go up 50% to make any money. But you can trade down here in perpetuity.
And what's the bottom of this?
Is a big word.
What's the bottom of this list look like? What's number 50?
51%.
Okay.
So
ask yourself this. Where, with no risk and no time invested, watching screens, worrying, anxiety, where are you going to safely make 51% on your money with cash flow while you sleep?
Nowhere. This is the ultimate. And look at the coins he's trading. He didn't pick these coins. He picked them, but let me show you where he picked them. From the $1 million report, or the $1 billion report, Edward calls it. This is a report that gets produced every month. This is the January report because it covers December, it covers the last 12 trailing months. And it's got each month on here how many trades that coin would have made, profitable trades, because they're all profitable, each month, all last year. And it shows that the previous year's closed trades, 1,500 trades in a year. That's the top moving coin. But look at the coins he was trading. That one guy was trading. There's your Swift, number 2. There's your Spawn, number 5. XCN was, let me type.
Right, number 10.
Oh, is it there? I didn't see it. Okay.
Yep.
All right, there's XCN. And what was the other one? XYO. All right, let's go back to the report. Control F, XYO. Number 20. Still 1,100 trades in a year. Now, you know, someone emailed me a report of a 7-Eleven. I got to show it because somebody mailed it to me. I always talked about, I want stuff on my shelf. If I was running a 7-Eleven, I want stuff that moves a lot. That's these coins at the top. And I was always saying, if I was setting up a 7-Eleven for the first time, and I've never done it, but just logically, it makes sense. I'm not going to call 1,000 vendors myself. I'm going to go nuts, you know, with 1,000 vendor relationships. So I'm probably going to work with a distributor. So I'm probably going to call, and a distributor's going to bring up a report like this, and he's going to show me the biggest moving items, your Monster drinks and your Cokes and cigarettes and stuff, right? So somebody emailed me this, the actual 7-Eleven distributor sheet, after I already been saying it. I love it when I say stuff for months and months, and then someone actually shows that, Ed, you were right. You know, there it is, you know, and coffee, monster drinks, Red Bull, bottled water. These are the biggest moving items in the store. And what's at the bottom? Now, I used to always say Band-Aids and Lysol. You probably wouldn't have that. If you did, it would be at the bottom of the list, the junkiest moving coin. I think he added, I'm sure he added those just to satisfy me because you know, he put Band-Aids at 856 and iodine at 857. You know, but here's all your slowest moving items. These are even those are good, but they're still much slower than, you know, than the, you know, 120 sales a day versus 450. So if we go back to the report, what's at the bottom of this report? What coins are at the bottom? Nobody wants the stuff at the bottom. Some of these are stable coins, so they don't really count. You're not trading those. But you know, some of these other coins here, look at, I hate to say it, Bitcoin's at line 415. It simply doesn't move. It doesn't move up and down enough. So where did it go here? 136 trades in a year. I mean, you really want to trade a coin that gives you 7 trades in a month. It averages 5 trades a month, you know, versus the coins near the top of the list. 99 trades a month, 48, 75 trades a month on average. You know, just, I mean, if I'm trading, pick a coin, like say I'm trading this coin here, Giga. 51 trades, 131 trades. This is each month. 48 trades, 59, 57. I think if I was trading that coin, I could probably expect good trades every month. You know, I don't expect to get 2 trades in a month, you know. So you know, we already have the top trades. We give you right out of the gate, we default the trader. We give you suggested coins, 3 coins, L3, XCN, and SUI. Those are 3 big movers, 3 high volatility coins. And where are they now? I mean, we can look here real fast. L3 is on line 51, but still 914 trades. Has been very consistent. You already saw XCN and SUI. SUI, line 88, again, 827 trades. But these last few months, you almost have to discount things because they've been slow on purpose to drive people out of these coins. They're just trying to drive them out. There's something to be said for a well-seasoned auto trader. A well-seasoned auto trader has a lot of inventory. Like this one here has 23 lots. This one has 21. This one has 35. That's what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. The example I give on 7-Eleven is if you only had one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus pulls in, you're only going to sell one bag. As opposed to if you've got 23 bags, let's take that first one, whatever, call those potato chips. If you have that on the shelf and the coin jumps 100%, you're going to sell 23 bags of chips. And it's the same thing with the school bus pulls in. You're going to sell a lot of chips. It's the same thing when the market pops. When the market pops, you want to have a lot of inventory to sell off, like Edward, everybody's traders are the same. We're all cleaning up on up days, like when Swift popped. I don't know what it did on that day, on January 6th.
It was yesterday.
Oh, was that? Oh, really? Was that just yesterday? I didn't even look at my I didn't do a webinar yesterday, so I didn't look at my auto trader yesterday. I wasn't even paying attention. I mean, I simply don't even care. In the last month, it's taken almost, $2,951, and that's really a slow month, for me. But in any case, I can't go out and spend that much in a grocery store.
Now, clarity, Ed, as a matter of fact, when I was speaking with Carrie, when she signed up this morning, she did glean that lots, but she then understood what lots were. So just for clarity, if anybody ever has the question, when we're talking about lots, the 23, 21, those are individual purchases of inventory in that coin.
Yeah, like if you buy it here, I just clicked on the plus next to ACH. And it shows after I sold it today for a $27 profit. Let's see, quantity entry. It sold it at 8931. No, that was the entry price.
I call it a position.
Yeah, it's equal to a position.
But in any case, after it sold it, it bought it back. You can see, and it shows all the individual lots. Plus, it also shows you what it's going to buy at. The current price, actually, you buy on the ask. It's up here. Current ask price is 9670, right? It's saying if it drops to 7686, it's going to buy more. Okay, so if I go down here, it shows here in the list. I can see here, it sold it today at 9439. And then it bought it back. How much longer? One hour later, exactly 1 hour, 61 minutes later. It bought it back at 9427 at a lower price. So it's just buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. There's no magic. It's actually so simple. The less you know about the market, or the less you think you know anyways, the less you were taught, then the less things you have to unlearn. The people that destroy their traders over the years, I used to have 10 screens of things you could do. I always put my hands out like that. Because in the early days, I would give users everything they asked for. I didn't know anything about the market. I knew I was going to automate it. I understood the money management part, no problem. But I wanted to know what the other clients knew. I wanted them to share with me. So they were sharing, they would say, I have a strategy that I do this. And then, so I automated it. They were amazed. It's like, oh my God, to see the creator of the old system, I actually created the strategy for them. I automated it. And I said, here are the settings. You can change the settings on this strategy any way you want. And I gave them all these strategies, 10 screens worth of settings. And I call it 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. It would be like you just got a beautiful system right out of the box, already works. It's like you just bought a new car, and the first thing you did is you popped the hood, grabbed the screwdriver, and started turning the screw on the carburetor. Why would you do that? Some people do that. They'll go in and just start changing things. And I'm like, why? Because it's they want to change, they're trying to create this strategy that they've actually been losing with their whole life. And now they want to create an auto trader to automatically lose. I mean, that's the only logical reason I could think of. So let's just quickly bang through this for people who don't even know what an auto trader is. The auto traders are running on my servers. I've got a big cage. I'm looking at this room. It's about the size of this room with all these cabinets full of servers in the co-location center. And all the servers are running on all the auto traders are running on my servers. It's called an intranet. It's all internal. So you don't have to download software. The old software, you used to have to download it to your computer and everything. I got rid of all those 10 screens and I reduced it to just the one screen of settings. So the auto traders are running on my servers, and so you don't have to do anything really. You don't have to download software. It already comes by default, already set with the top strategy that we're all using. Here's the default settings right here. And here's your settings. So if you change stuff and later on you decide you want to change it back, you can always go look at what these were. Now here's something I saw somebody do yesterday. They were very eager. They just started a couple days ago, and they're right away. They want the auto trader to use more money. It's like, how come it's not using all my money? So this here says max lots open in a single day. It doesn't mean if the coin's moving 20 times up and down, you can buy and sell 20 times, no problem. I'm going to change the wording here. It should say, don't accumulate more than 2 lots in a day. That means if it's just going down, 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 I don't want to buy like a crazy person, buy, while it's going the wrong way. If it's going up and down, fine, I'll buy and sell over and over again, but I don't want to accumulate more than 2. That person right away changed that to 12.
Oof.
Yeah. And then this one here says minutes since last open or close in order to buy more. So if I buy more, I want to wait 60 minutes before I buy again. So if it goes lower, I want to wait 60 minutes before I do it. The coin might, instead of going down 3%, it might go down 20% in that 60 minutes. Give the market time to breathe. Okay? These 3 settings don't exist for the stock trader version of this. It's not needed because stocks don't move that much. But in the crypto world, they're flying all over the place. A coin could drop 50% in 10 minutes. They changed this. You ready for this one, Attila?
Yeah.
And that's to 5 minutes. It's like, why? Why are you changing these? I
Hmm.
mean, they're the optimal settings. So if they're saying if it's going down, I'm gonna wait 5 minutes, and then it goes lower in the next 5 minutes. Buy it again. I'm like, why? It might want to drop 20% or 10% more. Give the market time to breathe. Let it go where it wants to go. You can't lose either way. If it pops way up, you win. Because you're selling at a much higher price. If it pops way down, you win. You're buying at a much lower price. You're not losing by waiting a few minutes, by waiting
Right.
an hour between buys. They're trying to get all their position. They're trying to make the auto trader buy more. It's like, why do you want all your money in at the top? I was at a UPS store once, and as I was walking up to the teller, I said that as I was approaching the guy, and I'm very vocal, you can tell. I walked up and I said, "So, how's your crypto doing?" I just threw that out there. I don't even know the guy, right? And he goes, "Oh man, my father lost everything." And I said, "What? How did he do that?" He said, "Well, he bought Bitcoin at 60,000 and then it dropped to 30,000 and then he sold it." He just literally threw away half his money. I mean, why not? If you're really that eager to throw away money, why not just hand it to people on the street? I don't know. Sometimes when we're driving and I see somebody walking, they got all their stuff and all that, and I say, I wish I could just pick that guy up and just give him a ride. but my wife would never let me do that, but I'm just saying, I feel bad for some people, it's awful. And some of these people out there, some of the people out there holding out, saying give me money and all. Some of them look like they could get a job, but some of them don't look like they could get a job. And you almost want to just hand them $100 bill, Sometimes I
Yeah.
do.
Hey, Ed, how do
Um,
you feel about taking that jacket off?
are we going to go into the Q&A?
Yeah, we got quite a few questions. If
Great.
you're
So
ready,
there's
we're
only one
ready.
screen of settings. You don't have to worry about these. They're already all set. We're all using them. There's no
Yeah, and
magic.
here's the PSA.
I like to take off my jacket during a Q&A. I love a good Q&A session.
Here's the public service announcement. If you're interested in the trader, buy the trader and don't touch it. Leave the settings as they are.
Yeah,
Don't try and outthink a 50-year programming genius, 3 million lines of code, and 25 years of going into 26 years of success. Buy it and go to the beach.
yeah. Unless you're a masochist.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless you just want to flush money down the toilet. So I just
And
put into the what Ed just brought is bringing up. I just put into to the chat Crypto Casey's negotiated link. She negotiated with Mr. Barsano to give everybody $1,000 off of the regular
if they
price. The
sign
regular
up. And
price
there's the
is
link right up here too.
right. Yep.
GoBabyTrade.com/CryptoCasey. If
Yep.
you hit that, and then when you go here and click buy now, it lowers the price from $44.99, which is the regular price, to
Right.
$34.99.
Right.
That's
And she
awesome.
said I should be charging 25,000 a year, didn't
Yeah.
she? She said for
We
the software. I said, hey, I didn't create this for the Uber, as Attila puts it, the Uber wealthy. I didn't create it for them. I created it for regular people. As a matter of fact, each auto trader can only trade up to $2 million. And
yep.
believe me, that makes the rich people mad. Because I had one guy with 10 million. He's saying, well, what do I got to do? I said, then you can buy 5 auto traders. That's what you can do. But I'm not going to let you trade $10 million with one auto trader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if you're a huge fan of Crypto Casey, then and you've been keeping up with us, then you know the story that when we first talked to her about it, she left the meeting all smiles. She was very very nice, and she left the meeting and didn't tell us until months later that she thought it was a scam.
And
Right,
now she runs
but then
multiple auto traders.
but then she called us 3 months. She went out and bought it at the full price without us knowing about it. And we didn't think anything of it. And 3 months later, 3 years, 3 months later, she calls me and says, "Hey, we got to get back together. This thing does exactly what you said it does." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
told
she told me, she said as soon as you guys told her about GoBabyTrade, in her mind, she was thinking scam, scam,
you."
scam.
But that's actually recorded.
I
She
like
came
how
on
she
live with
says it.
us.
I like how she says it.
Yeah, she says she came on live and said, I thought the whole thing was a scam. But now what does she say? Live recorded, she says, GoBabyTrade is the holy grail of crypto trading. Period. I
Amen.
don't know. She's got 750,000 people following her.
Hey,
Yeah, we
Edward.
have thousands
Yes,
of
sir.
clients too.
I
Yes.
I got kicked off halfway through, so I'm only showing two questions. So let me grab these two, the
Okay.
first two, and then you could get the rest because I can't see them, frankly.
All right.
Okay. So Ed, here we go. First one from a good friend and a longtime purchaser of the trader, Scott Logan. Ed
Oh, hi,
Barsano.
Scott.
Yeah, Scott's a good man. Ed, would you consider putting the totals, in quotation marks, the totals back in on the select currency screen? Funds to invest totals, funds used total, and funds remaining total. And the select currencies and edit strategies used to be on page one. Would you consider making this all one page again?
No, I'm not following you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know,
Try to
Scott.
send that to me, and I do take suggestions. I listen to a lot of people, and and I actually do. That's how the auto trader got to where it's at, from the
Right.
feedback from so many other people. If you're sitting at home, picture if you're sitting at home trying to create a strategy or something. and you're isolated. You don't know whether it's going to work or not. So then you try something and you lose your money, then you try something else and you lose your money, then you try something else. I had the advantage of thousands of people giving me feedback. I could see all the things that worked and what didn't work over the years. And
Hey,
I could
Ed,
just get rid of all the stuff that didn't work and reduce it to what does work.
so you've got the select currency screen up right now. So you've got cash remaining, which he didn't mention. You've got max funds to live trade with, which I believe he did mention.
I can click spread funds equally
Well, what he's
and
saying,
divide that
what he's
money up.
funds used total. Funds used total? Did you used to have a button that says funds used total? No, it's still there. I think you used to, under funds used total, did you have a summary on the bottom for the total? Because you've got them broken down by coin.
Well, yeah, I never really put the total there, but you can just look at it and see how much
Yeah,
funds
Oh
are
yeah,
used.
that
Scott,
I think what he's asking.
you're better off, Scott, just sending this one directly to
Yeah.
support at GoBaby and try to word your question a little bit better. It is a little confusing, so we apologize if we didn't answer it 100%, but we still love you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right,
And
and actually, good time for me to take a look in the chat. I put support at GoBabyTrade. So if you got a technical question or something like that, consideration of modification to the system, please send it there. If it's a non-technical question, then you got two other resources. You can send it to support at RCT Marketing Systems, and or you can click on the hyperlink, which takes you to the frequently asked questions within the trader. That it's now AI driven. So type in your question and you'll get all the answers that it's given to people asking the same question.
what the kind of questions I like are where someone's saying, here's why what I don't like about why I wouldn't use a trader, why other traders might be better. I've looked at other traders, I don't really like to look at other traders, but sometimes someone will send me a link and say, "Hey, will you look at this other automated trader?" And I go there and like one of them said, "You can pick from 1 to 50 strategies." I'm like, if there aren't 50 ways to make money in the crypto market. I don't know what 50 strategies would even do. I mean, that's you got to be gambling. Like options. Options are very dangerous. If you buy an option and then it doesn't go up, it expires worthless. I've made millions with it. I've lost millions with it also. I don't like it. It's gambling. And that was in the 90s, okay? I don't do that anymore since the 2000 market crash. None of us even margin. We don't margin. We don't gamble at all. It's only using the actual money that is actually in your account.
Right.
Um, and then I went to another site and what did it say? If you give us this much money, we'll give you one strategy, but if you give us this much money, we'll give you a better strategy. And I'm like, goodbye. Why should I have to pay for a better strategy? I mean, if you have a better strategy, you should be giving that to everybody. That's my
Yeah,
advice in case whoever developed that system, that's my advice to you. Quit
right.
quit playing games with people. If you're running with us, you're running the same strategy. I'm running the same strategy. Attila's running. We're all running the same strategy. There's no I don't have a better strategy. I mean, this thing already cranks out enough money. Why does it need to crank out more money than it's already cranking out? Because most of the money it's cranking out, what it's doing is it's prepping you for when the market does things. It's not trying to make the market do something, and it's not guessing about what the market's gonna do. It's
Hmm.
saying, I'm gonna cover you. I'm gonna make it so that you can trade from the top to the bottom, regardless of where the price goes. You're just gonna keep cranking out money. That's an important concept there. There's no other
Yeah.
system like that without any worrying about, there's no gambling in there. There's no
Correctamundo.
forecasting.
Okay,
When a
so
person manually trades, let me say something. If you're sitting at
sure.
home without GoBabyTrade, and I can tell you the behavior of the human mind, when somebody goes to make a trade manually, in their mind, that coin's going to go up. They looked at some chart and they said, all right, it looks like it's going to go up. So they buy it. The auto trader is the opposite. The auto trader doesn't have to worry about if it goes up. It knows it's going to take profit. Nothing to think about there. The auto trader is saying when it buys it, it's saying that coin's going to drop 90%. So the software is preparing you for the worst. And that's what saved everybody over the last 4 years because these coins dropped 90%. And that's what wiped out the whole crypto industry. That's what got everybody in the world, and especially in America, as far as I could tell, running scared of cryptos because they all went in at the top with no strategy and they put all their money in. And when the coins dropped all the way down, they just sold it all at a loss. And they said, boy, this crypto stuff is garbage. There's nothing wrong with the crypto market. It's your strategy that was garbage.
Yep.
I mean, I can
Okay,
tell
well
you a
said.
quick story. Gotta tell. I love, I learn from everybody, and I don't mean to be insulting when I say this stuff. My brother had an arcade many years ago right next to a movie theater. And all the kids would go into that was when you put quarters in the machines and the kids would all be that arcade would be full. They'd be playing the games, then the movie would start, they'd all run over to the movie theater and they would go to the movies, then they would come back to the arcade, right? And he was making good money every day. He would open up all the machines, take out all the money, and then go blow it. So what do you think happened at the end of the month when the electric bill was due and the rent was due? He didn't have any money to pay it, so he lost his arcade. you know, Poor money management. So I learned this stuff many years ago about money management. All my life I've observed it. My brother's 9 years older than I am. So, I learned mistakes. I could see where mistakes were made for years. Pattern recognition. I've discovered that in sixth or seventh grade when my brother got it. We moved a lot in Chicago. He got a job at a Texaco station right across the street from where we lived. And I was hanging out in there once and I picked up a farmer's almanac. And I was in sixth grade and I was looking and I'm like, they can predict weather based on history. Do you believe this? I mean, man, did that get my mind turning? It changed me for the rest of my life. Pattern recognition, averages, and probability, and I've been studying it my whole life. I live and breathe it, and I brought it to the stock market. All that knowledge, about money management, and I've cornered the market. I've literally got them trapped. I said, hey, you want to go lower? I'll buy more lower. Now what are you going to do, market? You want to keep going lower until the coin doesn't exist? I'm there
Yeah.
with you. I'll go there with you. I want to go there with you. But I'm going to be buying all the way in. Picture this, the rich. Like, let's take Donald Trump. He's $7 billion worth of crypto. He didn't buy it all at the bottom. He bought it. He was buying it along the way and accumulating. We're doing exactly the same thing, except while we're accumulating, while it's going down, we're actually selling off while it's going lower. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. But we're still accumulating if the price goes lower. We're doing what the rich are doing. We're actually doing better than they are. On a percentage basis, we're cashing in all this money on the way down. They're holding on and they're actually, but at least they're smart enough to know they have enough money to keep adding while it's going lower. It's not
Gotta
like the
grab.
average guy who puts all his money in at the top, and when it goes down, he's just he's dead in the water, and he's got to wait until it goes all the way back up before he can even break even. Whereas we're making money while it's going down, we don't even care where it goes.
Okay, I'm going to grab the next one, Ed. I got to grab Jim's question. I could answer this one. This is easy.
So we got a whole nother bottle of water here. We got a long time. There's no rush.
No, I
Man,
got a calculation to show everybody, but we'll keep going.
hold on, hold your horses there, pal. Uh, does there's two questions in a row that are exactly the same, but with different endings. Jim is asking, and so is Saeed, similar question. Does the auto trader require funds to be on a centralized exchange to do its magic? Can it trade its funds on a cold wallet like Tangent? No Saeed and no Jim. It's got to be either Coinbase or Kraken. They're very, very, very well respected centralized exchanges. And that's the way Ed Barsano did it because he needs reliability. He needs, like, Coinbase is a public company. They're not going anywhere. I got news for you. Okay. So you could move all of your other cryptos off of Coinbase and Kraken if you wish, and just keep the USD or USDC on either Kraken or Coinbase for the trader. So you could do that any way you want, but it does have to be centralized exchanges. So now, Jason's question is such that Ed Barsano, let me ask it of you. If the whales are driving the price down, should we be adding USD to our Coinbase account to allow it to have more money to buy during the dip, this dip?
I am not an investment advisor, but let me say this. Even if you don't add more, the software is going to take what you already have in there, the
Mhm.
remaining funds, and use it. Now, if you feel, I mean, a lot of people, I can tell you, a lot of people feel like they want to get the more money you have, the more money you make. Let's put it that way. If you're
Absolutely.
making 100% a year and you have $1 million, you just made $1 million. If you're making 100% a year and you have $1,000 in your account, then you made $1,000. There's a big difference. So it is a numbers game. The more money you have, the more money you make. But I'm not an investment advisor. Let me say that. But yeah, as far as putting more money in, people are going crazy trying to find money. People are selling their rental properties. They're shutting down their businesses or selling. Like I know an anesthesiologist that sold his anesthesiology business in New York. He said it was costing him a fortune on insurance and everything. He sold the whole building and everything, and he moved to Florida, and then he put it all in GoBabyTrade, all that cash. Some people are mortgaging their houses. I put a video out on the internet, on the website, that says don't mortgage your house. I don't like the idea of it, but I'm not an investment advisor. Do what you want to do. I just didn't like those phone calls I was getting. People were saying, well, my loan's almost through. And it's like, you paid off your house and now you want to get a mortgage on it? Don't do. I don't like the idea of it. I don't have a mortgage. I hate it. I mean, you don't pay off your house and then get another mortgage on it. I don't like it. And I put a video out there and saying I wouldn't do it. I don't like, and some people are doing credit cards. They're getting the credit card statements in the mail, that say 30% interest, but they feel like, well, my auto trader is making better than that. So I'll go ahead and get this credit card, convert it to cash, and throw it all in the auto trader. People are bending over backwards to try to figure out where to get more money into their account. Sure, the more money you have, the more money it makes. How does it make more money? Because it's investing more money in each trade, and therefore when it sells it, it's selling more on each trade.
Hey,
So the more
Jason
money
is
you have,
since we're on the screen, Jason just asked real quickly, why are your add as price advances boxes not checked on this screen in your case?
all right, all right. We originally, I put that on there specifically for people who were not selling.
You mean dollar cost averaging?
They were dollar cost averaging. Some people like it started with people were doing Bitcoin. Let me just give it a number. And then they would say, don't sell it. I just want to accumulate more as it wiggles around. But
Hmm.
the problem there is, say you bought it at 80,000 and it went to 90,000. If you're only adding to decliners, it would have to go below 80 before it could add more. So in that case, check it. Add
That
to
makes
advances.
sense. That makes sense.
That way, you can
So if it
add
goes
to
up
as
3 to
it's going
5%,
higher.
it'll buy more. It'll buy another position on the way up to 90. So now you got two positions, one at 80, one at like 985 maybe, right?
Right. And you can
Yeah.
keep adding as it's going higher. You don't have to wait for it to go below 80 to buy. But you don't need it. You don't need it for the ones where you're selling, because when it goes higher, you're selling it off and you're always
Right.
able to, and you're always going to be below the one that you own. If I own 3 lots here and I sell this one off, then I'm still below this one, so I'm adding to a decliner. If it goes higher and I sell this one off, I'm still below this one, the next one up. So I'm always adding to decliners. So I don't need it for as long as I'm
That's a great,
closing the positions.
Yep.
that's a really good explanation. So he says, which is correct. So He says, so only check that if you are dollar cost averaging a coin and not selling said coin.
Right.
Correct.
As long as if
Yep.
that's unchecked, then
Yep.
check that.
Perfect. That's great. That's a real. Hey, folks, just so you know, some people own a trader just so they could dollar cost average a lot smarter. Because if you don't have the trader and you're just at the same day of every month, let's say the 15th, you buy another $500 worth of Bitcoin or whatever. That's not true dollar cost averaging. I mean, it is
Yeah.
dollar cost averaging, but you're not optimizing it
Not
like you should.
really,
Yeah.
because you're adding at the same prices. I mean, Bitcoin hasn't changed its price in 6 months. It's been sitting in this little bitty window, and people are still every month they're throwing more money into the coin at the same prices they already own it at. I
Yeah.
say reserve that money. Don't let the software do the money management, so that way it says I already bought it at this price. I don't need to buy it again at the same price.
Hmm.
So, but that means it's got all this excess money it can use, because when that coin drops, that's when the rich get richer, buying at the lowest prices. And these
Yeah.
coins are at record lowest prices, except for Bitcoin, which is not, it hasn't dropped like the other coins. If you're going to get rich, in my opinion, you're not going to get rich buying Bitcoin. Because I want a coin that's going to go up 10,000%. And these other coins are ridiculously low, insultingly low even. I mean, I look at GRT, the graph. They got 70,000 users using them. And I don't have time. I don't think you guys want to go into what makes the graph so great. But there is no crypto market without the graph. If they go out of business, there's no market. I don't know what anybody would do. It's kind of like like I said, I went to my eye doctor, and I looked at the software they had running up there, the screens, and I'm like, that's not my expertise. That's a whole different, I would have to learn new APIs, new coding in order to do that. And do I want to take the time to do that? But if somebody that's already been in the field for years wrote these APIs, wrote all this software, then all I got to do is call those functions to do stuff. I could do it. Okay? That's the graph. They did stuff that's why I said 70,000 companies are using them. Without them there, who the heck is going to know how to program that stuff? Good luck. I mean, they get 2 billion hits a day on their APIs. I mean, that's not a joke. And this price they're at, a record low, it's like no way. They should be going for $20 a share, not 4 cents. I'm telling you, the rich are loading up like crazy. And that's why they pushed it down. That's why I've got 35 lots of that coin and only 21 lots of this other one like that, because they've been pushing this coin down the hardest. And I'm like, hey, you can't fake out an auto trader. You want to go down there, I'll go down there. But you're just helping me. You're doing me a favor. They're doing us a favor. I mean, this is a gift from God, man. They push these coins down to record lows. What a gift. That'd be like pushing Microsoft down to 30 cents a share. Thank you, Lord. And giving me a chance to buy at 30 cents a share and giving me a chance to get rich. Instead, it's sitting at $500 a share. This, don't you think it's a little peculiar that the stock market's all the way up here and the crypto market's all the way down here? I say while that market's up there, the stock market's up there, the whales are dumping off their shares like crazy at the highest prices. And you know what they're doing with that money? They're loading up on the crypto at the bottom, because the next run is going to be the crypto market. And watch when that runs, then the rich are just going to get richer. Trump's going to turn his 7 billion into 70 billion. You watch. And we are not going to be left behind. No way.
So, got a handful of rapid fire from Saeed. Good questions. You may have gotten some answers. We did this earlier, but let me go through them. What's the best link to buy the GoBabyTrade? Please do it with, where did you go?
GoBabyTrade.com.
/ Yep, bear with me. I'll put it
There
in
it is
the,
right here also.
yep, I'll put it in.
GoBabyTrade.com /CryptoKC.
Yep. And you may have picked it up the last time I
And
posted
that's
a
another thing.
video.
That's another thing. Some people are saying, I want to wait until the market takes off before I get in. And I'm like, yeah. And then when it does take off, how many lots of anything are you going to own when you do jump in? One lot of each coin.
Yep.
One lot. You don't have a well-seasoned auto trader. That's why while the market's crashing was really the best time. You want this market to crash. I mean, if it drops 50% more down, that's better because you're building inventory that you're going to sell and you
Right.
built it smartly.
Well, you saw at the
Instead,
beginning. You saw at the beginning when I showed my trader what it did over the last couple of days. It bought all of that in the down market and positioned it to where it within 2 days
where
it
it
sold
could
them all
jump it
off.
all.
Right.
Right.
So
And some people wait. I have heard multiple times, and I literally almost hear this at least once a month. Somebody will say, I was looking at the auto trader 6 months ago. I should have bought it then. I'm like, you're right, because you would have had all this beautiful inventory. You would have had a well-seasoned auto trader. Now, and when you first start out, think about it. You're going to buy one lot of a coin. And if it goes up, you're going to sell that one lot. There, it's like the potato chips. School bus pulls in, you just sold one bag of potato chips. Big deal. But once you're in this longer, it takes the auto trader a while to accumulate the inventory at the lowest prices. You don't want so that way you've got a lot of inventory. You can't, and I'm not being a salesman. I'm just telling you, you got to get in if you don't own it already. And I'm not doing this. I know I hate to talk like this because I sound like a salesman, and I'm not really a salesman, but it's just reality. The sooner you get in, the sooner your auto trader can start working for you.
right.
Every day that you don't have an auto trader is a day that you didn't take profits, and it's a day that your auto trader didn't accumulate inventory. Two critical things to
Yep.
making wealth.
All right. More from Sad. How do you set up the app? So that's easy. It's super easy. It literally takes 10 minutes. We've got videos on how to do it.
Not even 10
However,
minutes.
However, if you have an issue and you go, geez, I just don't try, I'm new to Coinbase or I'm new to this and I need help. All you need to do
That's
is
most people. That's most
right.
people.
All you need to do
Don't
is
worry about it.
send us an email, set up a time. We'll do a Zoom and we'll help you get connected. Once this is not a sell and buy. This is a meaning buy. This is you're joining a community that you're in very rare air because a lot of people have not many people have seen this message or had the opportunity to take advantage of the opportunity to automate part of their life. So when you take the time, we're very grateful for you investing the time to listen to the message. And we're also very interested in helping you be successful for a lifetime going forward. So
And
it's you,
it's an education.
right.
Really, you're
You
going to
have
learn so much doing that once you get on board. I mean, it just changes, and I'm speaking for myself even. It changes your life. It changes your whole outlook on the world. I mean, how many times do I say it? I'm walking this planet on air, man. You'd think I was on Vicodin or something. Seriously. I'm floating on air. I mean, I got an auto trader cranking out money. I got multiple auto traders actually cranking out money every day, all this free money. And what did I say the other day? I found a $1 bill on the street and I put it in my wallet. It was all folded up. And when I tried to unfold it, it was like sticking together, man. I could hear it just, I was afraid it was going to rip. I still talk about that $1 bill that I found coming out of a Sprouts store. It just blew right in front of me, and I picked it up. I said, "Oh, this is a dollar bill." Stuck it in my wallet. I still talk about that, even though my auto traders make thousands of dollars a month. That $1 excites me more because this is just once you have this, man, you're done with the planet, man. You just you have no more mystery. I have zero mystery about the stock market, about anything going on out there. The whole financial world, all that baloney talk on MSNBC, the talking heads with the ties on. I mean, they say nothing. Jim Cramer couldn't tell you how to trade a stock if his life depended on it. And I automated his Action Alerts Plus. Some of you may remember he used to have a product called Action Alerts Plus. He called me and asked me And I mean, him personally called me and said, "Will you connect your auto trader to us so people who have my subscription can, when I make a suggestion on a coin, it'll automatically buy it if they have your account." So we did that, and he put on a host show in New York for me. I went over there and presented, and then while I was there, I was standing behind his whole room full of people sitting there in the audience, and I was standing behind him, and he said, "All right, I'm going to make some suggestions." And right away, everybody scrambled and got their Apple 101 pads or whatever out. And then as soon as he mentioned a stock, right away, it was kind of really funny because all their heads went down at the same time to write it. I just thought that was hilarious. But then every time he mentioned a stock, he started saying stuff like, if they report this number of earnings and, different things, and if that, then buy it. Otherwise, and I'm like, oh, brother, by the time, listen to all that, who the heck is going to do what you just said? I walked
Yeah.
out of there. I walked to the lobby. It was in the 2008 crash, right? I walked to the lobby. I went to my trader and I said, "Show me all the coins that are down 90% from 1 year ago." It brought up a whole list of coins. I grabbed 20 of those coins and bought them all. And what do you think they all did? They all rocketed back up. I just said, "Give me all the coins that are down 90% right now. All the ones at rock bottom." And man, did they take off. So, it's like and then I set up traders in my office where one did what Kramer said to do, and one did a little evaluation when he said it. And my evaluation was, if it's already up more than a quarter, don't buy it, even if he says to buy it. But in the one trader, I let it buy it because he said buy it. In the trader next to it, I said don't buy it if it's up more than a quarter. Simple as that. Don't buy it. Then when it came time to sell, because I watched coins go up on his trader and then come down, and he didn't tell you to sell it. And I'm like, what the heck is he doing? Why didn't he tell him to sell it? So his auto trader, so on my trader, I said take profit. If it goes up, sell it. On his trader, I waited for him to give the alert to sell it, and he didn't give the alert. In a month, my trader was so far ahead of his, it was just crazy. So don't think that's a problem in society is everybody thinks other people know more than they do. Don't believe it. They don't. There's a lot of faking going on out there. And what you need is an auto trader that just cranks out money, end of story, and you'll be
You
at peace
saw
with the
you
world.
you saw real live versions of it happen. And it's not manipulated. It's not made up. It just does what it does. So
Pretty
science
Okay.
much.
also says how much and how long to renew the license. So you probably picked all that up. In the meantime, some of the questions are older. So,
It's a
but the
3-year
answer is
license.
the answer is it's $34.99 for 3 years at a discount, and it renews every 3 years. So yeah, if you put a dollar in and you get $5 back at the end of 3 years, likelihood is you're just going to keep renewing the license.
Do you know how many
All right.
people run my auto traders that only trade silver, SLV, for the last over 15 years? I've got clients that I've been preaching silver for years. I'm like, silver's never going to go out of business. I've never seen it below 1050 a share. SLV is the symbol. And so I've been telling people for years, trade the heck out of silver. It's just free money. Some people buy my stock trader, and this is the crypto trader, but the stock trader runs the same way, and they only trade one symbol, SLV. And they've been making a fortune with just the wiggles. And now what did it do? It ran to 70.
Almost 80.
Is it
So,
almost 80?
yep,
And it doesn't even matter. I don't even care where it goes. It didn't even have to go to 80. They were still doubling their money every 1 or 2 years in just with the wiggles at the bottom. It didn't
yep,
even matter.
yep.
It doesn't matter where it goes.
So bring up your trader because Bob has a question. It's
Yes.
actually a very simple question. Bob says, why does the total P&L show a loss if the trader only takes profits? Here's the reason. It never sells
Inventory.
a losing position. It just gathers inventory, meaning those lots. It keeps buying those lots, waiting for the market to wiggle
Whoops.
to a profitable position, and then it sells that lot off. Just like down the bottom, you can see at
Am
today
I
at
still there?
247, it sold ACH for a $27 profit.
Hang on, I lost my screen.
Yep, I see it.
Do you still see it?
Yep, I see
Oh,
it.
there it is.
3:48 a.m. today. It
Oh,
bought
right.
another position back, and Sheeb bought another position back. So it literally buys and sells. If there's a 3% drop, it'll buy more, and it'll just hold it until that particular lot is at a profit goal where it can sell at a profit. If not, it holds the inventory. That's why the open position P&L shows losses, but they are paper positions. You still own those lots. The price may be down, but literally the price wiggles all the time. And just like I showed mine earlier, and you can see the
This
lot,
is what's important over
right,
here. Is this my screen?
is what your screen.
I can't seem to click on stuff.
I can't. You may want to.
I'm going to
Yeah,
just
there
stop
you go.
sharing and reshare
All right,
again.
but the fact of the matter is it never sells a position at a loss. If it's holding an inventory that is below the market value, it will hold that inventory until the market recovers. Here's the good news: it's been collecting inventory in a 90% down market. When the market turns north, and by the way, the trader has never seen a bull market. When it does, all of those open positions will sell off at a profit. But in the meantime, it continues to buy, sell wherever the price structure is.
You can see the trades down here. If I go back, it's just constantly buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. No different than a 7-Eleven. You stock the shelves and you sell it all off. The beauty is you don't have any you don't have any bricks and mortar. You don't have any employees. You don't have to have a building. You don't have to stock shelves. The trader's doing it automatically for you. But the answer to your question, his question is, how come this number is, you know, you said smaller, right? It's because of the open inventory that's negative, and they've been like I keep saying, they push these coins to record lows. These prices are record lows. It's like there's no reason for unless you believe it's the end of the crypto market. All right, it's the end. No more cryptos. It's over. But the only reason that these coins are down is because they keep pushing the coin to record lows. They keep having the market has to keep staying on a downtrend. They can never turn the trend up without you selling all this inventory off at a profit. So you got them trapped down there, and they can't keep pushing them lower. GRT right now is at a record low. It's never been that low in history. I think ACH is also under a penny here, which is ridiculous. It's an insult to humanity. All these prices are record lows. They don't belong down there at these prices. This is nuts. This is nuts that they're doing that. I did it. Oh, I accidentally clicked on the level 2 screen. It's nuts that they push the coins down that low, but it's working for them because the amateurs out there are selling. When the amateur sees inventory going down, they panic. I could show you this screen, this bucket in a well. I could show everybody that, and you could just sit and look at it and see that it's never going to stop pumping money, ever, for the rest of your life. Once you get that, then you're home free. Then you'll realize it's free money for life. So if you have any disputes about whether it works, keep staring at the bucket in the well. Tell me
Yeah,
what about that bucket in the well doesn't work.
Yep.
If you see something in that bucket and well that doesn't work, please let me know. Because the only
yeah.
thing that's going to stop that thing from pumping money is that coin's going to go out of business. And if they don't go out of business, they got to keep giving me money forever, literally forever, in perpetuity. And when I say in perpetuity, that's a very big statement. That's a big word. I think it goes over people's heads. In perpetuity means forever. And
Yep.
forever is a long time. And that
Lifetime of
means it's going to
income.
keep pumping money till you die. And then you're going to hand your auto trader to your kids, and they're going to run it and they're going to let it keep pumping money forever. This is forever money. It's not like you put your money in a bank account and then you wait around for a statement to see that they gave you a penny. This
For
is
someday.
yeah. This is
So,
All
every
right,
day.
we got to move
This
on.
is every
yep.
We
day of
got
your life. You're taking. Look at all the free money, and it's just anybody that doesn't sign up. I feel for you because in your mind something is telling you that well, there's something wrong. I don't believe it or whatever. And those are the people I like to speak. I wish would speak up because you're the ones that need help.
Well, they
I
don't
mean, you
need to,
really
Ed. I'll tell
need
you why. Hey, Ed,
help.
I got a great idea for those people. Can you go back to the main website for GoBaby.com, GoBabyTrade.com, like where people no, yeah, right there. So, folks, if you still have trepidation and you have doubts after we're done here today, that's normal with some people. But guess what you could do? You could go to that Crypto Casey link every day, and there's a button up top that says Sample Trader. Guess what? If I'm not mistaken, Ed Barsano, that's an actual trader, right?
Yep.
That trader is live literally every day. If you want to come in here 10 times a day and take a look at the results the trader is getting or what it's doing, and it might be going sideways that day and it may not be doing anything. But this literally shows you real-time activity on a real trader of what's going on. Look at today. I mean, there's nothing today,
It's just free
but
money. Yeah, but oh yeah, nothing today. It doesn't say
nothing
today
today.
over here.
Yeah, but
But this one
look at
has a lot of this. This is $1 million account. I don't usually show this, but
okay.
yeah, I mean, look at the profits I make on one trade: $820, $571. I mean, it's just free money, you know.
Yes.
And what did it do? In January, I love what happened in January when ACH took off.
Oh, last January, January
Yeah.
30, the 26th to the 31st.
All right. Yeah. January 20. Yeah. Here, watch.
Almost there. Look at that.
I
Holy
mean,
cow.
it just started taking off right here on the 26th. I mean, the coin was at ACH was at 2.2 cents, and then it just jumped to 3 cents, and then it just started taking profits. 2,900 on that one, 1,400 on that one, 860 on that one, and it just kept going every. And then the beauty is, while it was going up, it started pulling back a little. And then the auto trader bought more. Even though it had all this inventory up here to sell, when the coin went, when the market, while it was going higher and selling off inventory, when the coin went lower, it bought more. You can see the opens here in the middle of while it was running. And then it continued on its way up again. And all these ACH sales. And it went to 5.6 cents all the way until I mean, look at January 3rd, it was at 4.7 cents, or January 30th.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
just kept going. And and you see all the buys, the opens and closes. So I was double dipping. Not only was I selling off the inventory, or I mean the trader was double dipping. Not only was it selling off the inventory that it bought on the way down months earlier, even a year earlier, 2 years earlier, it didn't matter because it never sells that inventory. This inventory here that it bought at the higher prices, it never sells it. See, this is the evil thing. This is what the whales and what they don't expect you to do what we're doing. Hold those positions, but continue trading down here. They want you to be all in up here, and then when it drops down to here, they want you to be miserable and panic and sell it all at a loss. They never expect you to continue to keep taking money while it's sitting at the bottom because that's just free money. And then don't forget all the whales, they all went in there. Like I said, Donald Trump didn't buy $7 billion worth of crypto at the bottom. He was buying it all the way up here at higher prices. So all those big boys, they're all underwater right now too. Don't worry about it. But watch when
Yeah.
that market takes off. They know they're going to get rich, and that's why they're holding the prices down so long, because it's
Yep.
working. Because the
Yep.
All
longer
right.
they hold it down, the more the public panics and sells at the bottom. We
Hey,
never
Ed, we got
panic
to
and sell at
we
the
got to get
bottom.
to some more pending questions. So,
Yep.
Edward,
Yeah. Bob says, does does this? I'm assuming does this trader optimize small trades against transaction costs? Here's the great news: the platform already knows what the fee is going to be, and it builds it into the profit goal. So if your profit goal is 3%, then it already knows what it's going to be charged for that transaction, and it builds that in. So when it takes the profit, it takes a net profit to your goal. And here's the good news. You still get to write off all those fees.
Right. So the software, instead of selling at 3%, it might sell at 4% to cover the fee in the cost, or it might sell at 3.5%, stuff like that. So your fee is already covered. It's
Yep.
it's it's
right,
it's invisible. I don't even think
Yep.
about the fees.
Yep.
right,
Things like
Bill.
fees and taxes, there's tricks. The way we trade, we cover the fees, we cover the taxes, all within the trading. So you don't even care, man. I mean, when you think you're even a lot of times you're thinking you're going to owe a lot of money because you're making all this money, and you're going to discover the way the broker logged the trades, it's called HIFO, highest in, first out. You buy something up here, and if the price is all the way down here now, and we buy it again down here, when this one, if we buy it here and then sell it a little higher, we know we took profit. But when you sold it here, they're saying they're logging the highest one you bought as the one you sold. They're saying he bought it here and he sold it all the way down here, big fat loss. So for tax purposes, they're actually doing you a favor. But did we really sell the top one? No, we didn't. We sold the bottom one that we bought at the bottom and sold it a little higher and took the profit. But the
That's even
broker
a
doesn't know that. They don't know
that,
which one you sold. They're logging it as if you sold the top one.
That's it. That's an even better reason to have a well-seasoned trader, because it never sells, or for a very long time, it never sells the first ins, right? And everything else that it wiggles below that is technically reported as a loss, but it's a profit. It's a profit and with cash flow that you have access to. So Bill's got a long question. He says, okay, account drawdown additional deposits. If I'm planning to deposit $20,000 into my Coinbase account in January to use with GoBabyTrade, the GoBaby trading system, my question is whether, in your experience from user feedback, anyone has ever had an account drawdown low enough during the market dips that they were required to deposit additional funds. So let me stop there. The answer is no.
No, the
Because
answer is
of the
yes.
money management, it always keeps you in the game, which is why it doesn't put you all in at the top. Then he goes on specifically, I'm wondering if there is any scenario where the system continues opening positions during a prolonged dip and requires additional capital to maintain. The answer again
It,
is no, because it divides your money up to that full trading window. The only way that it breaches, the only yes to that answer is if it buys the 25 lots as the default and it goes below that, right?
but
Then
then you got all the saved profits that you could just release to the auto trader. By the time a
right.
coin drops 75%, you've got a buttload of money sitting in your save bucket, your current profits saved. You're going to have I mean, that's 359,000. I mean, I bought a Range Rover, so I blew a lot of the money. But I mean, that originally was sitting in my save bucket, a few 100,000. By the time a coin drops 75%, you're going to have a lot of money that you can just release to the auto trader.
Right. Which
So again, you
great
wouldn't need
point.
to put more money in. The people who need to put more money in are the ones who gamble. Where is it? Here. No. Here. On the edit strategy screen. Oh, I was going to show it to you here. It is here. I'm going here. See the view trading. we have a 75% trading window by default. This is the default strategy, okay? But if you go to some, he's got 3 times 30 lots, 90% drop window. He's protected down to a 90% drop without having to add more money. This one here lowered it to 72. This one's 75. I'm looking at this number here. I don't know. Some of these people put way too big. They don't need them that big. This one here has gone to, he said only do 20 lots instead of 25. He's protected to a 60% trading window. And I saw one earlier that was really, I mean, it's up to, it's called gambling, where they're trying to get all their money. Like this one here. He has 20 lots deep, and he's adding on 2% jobs. 2 times 20 is only a 40% trading window. That means if the coin drops more than 40%, he's going to run out of money on that coin. And then, but he made a lot of money, so he can release money to it, or he can put more money in and extend that trading window lower. But for the most part, when you first start out, you're fine with the 75%. Like this one here has a 50% trading window because he lowered his adding from 3% to 2%. 2 times 25 is a 50% window. Adding on 2% drops 2 times 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, all the way down to 50%. If he does it 25 times, he will have dropped, the coin will have had to drop 50% to use up those funds. But then he made a lot of money along the way that he could release, so he's probably got a 60 or 70% trading window, really. But it's very rare that you're going to run out of money. That's why years ago, I automated the Forex, right? Now, Forex gives you 20 to 1 margin, 100 to 1 margin, different exchanges, right? All right, I automated Forex, and we didn't use the margin. It was evil. It was evil. So we didn't use the margin. And the Forex, and finally the Forex exchange called me and said, you have to use the margin. And I said, no. Because if you're giving me, people say, well, I'm getting 100 to 1 margin. I want to use that because every time the coin goes up $1, I make $100. I said, yeah, but every time it goes down $1, you lose $100 if you're doing margin. With us, you never run out of money. So we had it out, and I unplugged the exchange, and that's when I learned a very important lesson. The crypto exchanges are not the crypto. The Forex exchanges are actually competing with you. They're jerking with the numbers too. And they didn't like the idea that we never had a loss, even though they tried to drive those prices down. And don't ask me how they do that stuff. They have ways. They've been doing this stuff for years. They can drive these prices anywhere they want them. And they try to drive it down and try to make, if you're doing 100 to 1 margin, they push it down enough where you just lose everything. I know a guy that lost $2.8 million doing Forex, and he didn't know how to do money management because he was using the margin and it just killed him. We never used margin, so I had it out with the exchange, with the Forex exchange, and I unplugged them. And I said, we're not going to trade Forex. Done. I'm not creating gambling machines. And if you're not going to let me, and then another argument he had was, he said you had to sell HIFO, you had to sell you had to sell the top one, you couldn't sell the bottom one. And I said, no, we're playing by UK rules. UK rules say you can sell LIFO last in, first out. But US rules say you have to sell HIFO, highest in, first out. And so again, we had it that, and those were the kind of battles we had. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to sell the one at the top when the price is down here. I'm going to lose money. So that was the reason I unplugged those guys. I took all the gambling out of the system. So you're worried that was a good question, by the way, because that's what some people think. Like they're going to run out of money or something. It's like, you're never going to run out of money. If you're doing it right and you're not gambling, you're not going to run out of money because the software is just dividing up your money and it's making sure you have enough money. That's why the biggest criticism I get when a person signs up is how come it won't put more of my money in play up here? Because we need to divide it up so that if the coin drops 70 or 80% or 50 or 60%, we're still trading. And we're getting the same profits down here as we were up here. If you put all your money up here, I call that top heavy. You got all your money at the top and then it comes down here and you don't have any money to trade down here. You are nothing but a buy and holder. And that's why millions of people lose money. They don't know how to do money management. And Attila, we can't hear you.
I agree. I agree on your last point. Edward, are there any more questions? You're muted, Edward.
Yes, there are more questions.
Cool. I love a good Q&A. And that was a good question. Thank you. I love explaining this stuff. Sometimes I go back to the videos that we've done here and I listen to myself talk for hours. It sounds funny. It sounds funny. But I actually do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I just sit there and I'm just transfixed listening to myself go. And I like to hear it, you know? I mean,
so to that point, our good friend Matt says this presentation's been going for 3 hours. How much longer? Until Ed stops talking. So usually
it's joking.
Anywhere between 2.5 and 4 hours. Believe it or not, we've gone over 4 hours.
You don't have to listen to it all.
But it's all Matt. It's all based on the questions.
Matt? Matt's joking, right? Is Matt joking?
No, he's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt.
This is his first time joining us, and we asked him to be an observer and a feedback. So the real answer is it's generally, if we generate a lot of questions, then most of the time is spent giving those answers, because yes, we do record it and publish them, and a lot of people skim through even at 2x speed, and we sound like chipmunks, but people do receive a lot of reinforcement in the answers because we are presenting such an outlandish concept that is factual based on based on the programming that you've been taught, however long you've been learning finance. Everything that we're saying is almost counterintuitive, but it's not.
The market's not there to gamble. Right. You don't have to gamble.
So
you simply don't have to gamble.
We do have a couple more questions, and then we'll let people go. So Sam says, if the crypto market matures and starts to trade flat like the stock market, will it make GoBabyTrade less profitable? If so, how do you suggest adapting to this change? Well,
cryptos, you don't have to.
So subjective.
Now, we're at the bottom. You got a long way to go. I wouldn't even worry about it.
Yeah. Sam's subjective answer is that we are so early in the game. There's going to be 5, 10, 15 years of extraordinary volatility before things would even propose to be flat in trading. So don't miss the next 15 years. But also consider this. Is that if you're examining the market and looking at the timing of where we are in this time and space, we are in the dinosaur ages. Why are things getting crushed? As Ed says, there's going to be blood in the streets before the prices start to skyrocket. It's because
I was saying that before the big crashes over the last 3 months. I was telling people every time they see a few days of up market, they always think that, everything's going. I'm like, no, we're in a downtrend. Don't let it. They want to get, anytime a crash happens before a big rally happens over the years, in 25 years I've observed it, there's always a sharp crash where people are calling their brokers saying, just get me out. And, that's when, then, all right. Now all the last push of getting everybody out, let the big boys accumulate as many shares as they can, and then rocket it to new highs.
Right. In support of that, in my humble opinion, right now we're moving into, because you've seen the Genius Act which allows stable coins, which allows all the banks to get back into the market. The banks were nervous and pissed because you were taking it as you educate yourself in cryptocurrency and decentralized finance, you're pulling your money out of the banking institutions, which, by the way, when you put $1 in there, they can lend out 90 cents, right? So they're talking about margin and leverage. And they were pissed because you're pulling all the money out because you're hurting their bottom line. Genius Act gave the opportunity for the banks to participate in this market. So guess what? All the institutions are moving into this marketplace. Not only the BlackRocks, not only the Fidelities, not only the Vanguards, but every major bank in on the planet is moving into this space, and they're forcing the prices down because they want it all. They don't want you to own any of it. Ed early on said that 95% of all cryptos are available on the market are owned by institutions. Why? Because they want all the profit. What comes next when the institutions finally figure it out? Ed talked about it. He walked into his bank and turned around and saw that Wells Fargo, not Wells Fargo, but it was Merrill Lynch or somebody can now offer through the banks can offer cryptos. Guess what? The next move is now that they've forced the prices all the way down the bottom, scared out all of the individuals, then they're going to start marketing to you. Count on it. You're going to receive text messages and emails of your bank going, oh, hey, we're offering crypto or crypto ETFs, which is the ability for the banks to move into the retail sector. The only way that the only next move in this market when we go to retail is the liquidity pool is going to be dried up. There's no crypto. So as soon as somebody starts buying the crypto, the leverage in the market of everybody else owning crypto, the prices are going to go sky high. And on all of this inventory that you've seen that you look at that appears to be negative in the logical world or in the illogical world is all going to turn into profit in the real world. And anybody that owns this trader, that has a well-seasoned trader, Ed's favorite words that he hadn't used yet today is down is good. Down is good.
Oh yeah, down is great.
And what do you say recently? You can't own enough crypto, right? So
at these prices where we're sitting now, this is becoming an insult to humanity. This is crazy, and they are sucking up. Every time you're selling shares, who do you think's buying it? When people are panicking and just selling all their shares off because they're panicking because they're so low, the whales are just sucking it up like crazy.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's go to the next question.
All right, Jim, follow up. So if funds have to be in Kraken, would I just deposit USD and the auto trader converts to the desired coin, or would I have to buy the coin on Kraken for the auto trader before I would start to trade? So
first scenario.
So it's the first scenario, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just go to cash. You're better off going to cash and letting the software decide when to buy, how to divide up the money. A lot of times someone comes in with a whole bunch of a coin, and that's what I called it earlier. I called it top heavy. You know, you got too much of the coin up here, and if you divide up if you sell it, convert it to USD or USDC. USDC is good in Coinbase because they pay you 4% of your interest on the money sitting there. So go to cash, go to USDC, and let the software divide it up so that it can trade it all the way to the bottom without you having to be broke. Because if you're only in the coin, then you have no cash to buy anything. You're just a buy and holder. And to me, buy and hold is dead. I don't own anything that is buy and hold. I don't buy and hold anything. I'm not I don't have silver dollars in my drawer. You know, I mean, I don't believe in that. If I'm going to trade silver, I'm going to trade silver in the stock trader and let it buy and sell, buy and sell. Turning inventory is where it's at. If you have a 7-Eleven, you're not going to fill up the shelves with groceries and then lock the door and wait for the inventory, the prices to go higher. Maybe you could have done that a year ago. I don't know when eggs were going up. I don't think they do that, though. The name of the game is turning inventory. You never want to have empty shelves. You want to always have inventory on those shelves.
Yep.
All right. So Saeed that asked a couple of questions. It said, I'm new to crypto and didn't buy any yet, but I've been following Casey for 4 years. I set up everything as Casey described. I tried to buy crypto from Kraken or Coinbase. The problem is that when I click the buy price, the price goes up if the crypto is 87,000. When I go to buy it, the price jumps. So that part is irrelevant in the trader because the trader handles all the buys and the sells. And he says I feel like it's a scam.
It is.
I've been having a long time trying to buy. Yes. So
It's
the
what I've
net
been
answer
trying to
is
tell people.
the
It's
net
what I
answer
tell
is
you. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, Edward. Let me just tell Saeed something very important. Saeed, you're complicating this way too much. Don't try to buy the crypto. All you're doing is in your exchange, if you're using Kraken, put in whatever amount of money you want the trader to trade for you into US dollars. That's it. You're not buying crypto. You're putting the amount. Now, if you're in Coinbase, we suggest you put whatever amount you want the trader to trade into USDC. That's it. End of story. Don't be
The
buying
software
crypto.
does the buying. The
Yeah,
software does the buying and the selling. The software actually hides the orders. What you're doing, you're putting orders at the broker, and this
no,
is where you're getting eaten alive because the professional traders are seeing your orders and they're playing against you.
right.
And now that goes, again, from years of experience. You
yep.
know,
He
there's
says I also tried to buy it directly from the bank. No, don't do that. Um,
You
it,
need an
it,
auto trader. You
yeah,
need an auto trader. That way you
yeah,
don't have to babysit it at all. You put the symbol in the auto trader and let the auto trader do all the
yeah.
buying and selling. You're done.
Yeah, he says the banks are pointing it to use to buy through Apple or other apps. Is that okay? No, it's not okay. The more pieces in the puzzle, the more complicated it gets, and the more vulnerable you become. Coinbase, in my opinion, Kraken's good too. Coinbase is my choice because and both platforms have multi layers of of security that simply takes all of the work, all of the anxiety out. If you buy the trader, fund the trader, choose the coins that you wish to trade, which we've made some suggestions. You have the $1 billion report to do your own research and pick good quality coins and just let it go. Stop worrying. Go live your life. Uh,
Yeah,
You don't have to
no,
go to
better.
Pancake Swap. You don't
Yeah,
have
don't
to
better.
try.
go
Yeah,
jumping through all these other places to buy and sell coins. The auto
but
trader just
this,
runs
but this,
100% unattended.
this is
Yep.
also where, don't complicate it, folks. But in case you get stuck, that's why Edward posted our customer support emails, either support at gobabytrade.com for the real technical questions or general questions like Saeed's question or issue could have been sent to support at um, rctmarketingsystems.com. It's that
Yep.
simple.
I
Just
put
contact
the
us.
links. I put
Yeah.
the links in the chat again. And again, we'll close by putting Casey's discounted link.
I don't see the support. Oh, there it is. Crypto. Where are the support emails that you posted? I don't see them.
They're in the chat.
No, they're not.
They are in the chat.
Well, maybe earlier before I got kicked off. Maybe it's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You can
I just
always
posted.
send email to support at
Yeah.
gobabytrade.com also.
Yeah. Well, that's that. So it's support at gobabytrade.com. If anybody can't see them in the chat, or support at RCT
Oh,
Marketing
I see it
Systems.
now. It's
Yeah.
not highlighted in light blue. Yeah, the other ones were in light blue. Those are okay. I got it now. Yeah, sorry
Yep.
about that.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
any other questions, Edward?
Nope, we're out of questions.
We're out of questions and we're way over time. So
Yep.
what do you propose?
Well, I think that we let people go. Those that
Yep.
have stayed with us.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
yes, that thank you. You're always welcome to join again. Use the
Yep.
same link. If there's any additional questions, if you're apprehensive about, hey, I don't want to talk about it here, but I would like to find out more about it to answer my questions to make a buy decision or an investment decision in yourself. then you can just send us a note and say, hey, I'd like to schedule a private one-on-one to talk about it and decide whether I want to buy the trader or not. You can do that as well, right? We're here to benefit you.
We don't
One
we don't leave
more
anybody we don't leave anyone hanging. Nobody.
one more announcement, and we're going to cover this in more detail next time. We're going to spend 2 or 3 minutes on it only, and maybe direct you to a separate event. But we're also announcing we have financial intelligence for you now has a way, if you own the trader, to actually earn. If you have friends, family that want to buy the trader, we have an affiliate program, by the way. If you want to make an extra, $1,000 a month, it's a really, really simple way to do it. We'll explain that next time more in detail. And like I said, it'll probably be a link that'll lead you to a separate Zoom, a much shorter one, 20 minutes max, explaining how that works. It's so simple. But thank you for being here today, Ed Barsano. We appreciate your time as always every week. Edward, great job. And
Go Air Force.
have a great, we'll see you next week, same time, same channel, everybody. And if you have any questions, make sure you get in touch with us. All right. Bye for
Yep. Go
now.
forward and multiply your money. We appreciate
Absolutely.
everybody. Thank you so much for staying with us. Look for the link. Also go to our YouTube channel, Financial Intelligence for You, and you'll see the recording there. Please do pass along all the information to anybody that you would like to have prosper. And before I say goodbye, I just noticed that my longest friend on this planet, a good buddy of mine that I've known for 45 years, Tad. Thank you for the support. Thank you for always joining us, and we appreciate
Oh, cool.
everybody. And yes, live long and multiply your money. We'll see you next week.
Bye for now.